Good evening, guys. Another Saturday evening, January 7th. Hey, Cookie Bone. Good to see you. How are you doing? I hope everything is okay with you, brother. Today, I begin my stream a little bit later than normal. I just got back home from my parents-in-law's house. I was invited for a dinner. So that's why I moved my stream 2 hours later. And I hope that will be okay with you guys. Hey, Leonard. Good to see you, brother. How are you doing? I hope everything is okay with you, Leonard. And it's always good to see you, brother. Four in the house. I wonder who the others are. And as usual, I have the StreamYard link pinned in the top of the chat. So if you are up for it, you can join me. But anyway, you're very welcome, every one of you guys. And I appreciate that. We wait until more people join the stream. Shikpina USA, good evening and welcome, my friend. Good to see you. How are you doing? I hope everything is okay with you. Winterland Vlogs, welcome, my friend. And good evening. How are you doing, Sheikh Panay? Hey, Gare Griden. Good to see you. I think we do like that for you too, Sheikh Panay. It's good to see you too. Well, sometimes it has to be the first time as well, my friend. First time for everything. That's awesome. And I hope your week has been great too, Shikpinai. And I hope your week has been great for you too, dear Graydon. My week has been pretty good, actually. So I'm happy with that. We wait a couple of more minutes, then we go on move on to the topic for today's stream. And I got my coffee. Hanging with the chef. Good to see you, brother. How are you doing, my friend? Yeah, how does it go with recovery of voice, my friend? I hope it's smooth forward on that. Been one sickness after one another for the last month. Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, happy new year to you as well, hanging with the chef. I understand, but it's good to see you anyway, Shikpunai. It's good to see you. If anybody are up for it, just click the pinned link, StreamYard link in the top of the chat, and join me. Yeah, Shikpunai. Work mode, yeah. That's important too, my friend. But it's always okay if you're passing by, Shikpunai. Seven in the house. That's awesome, guys. I appreciate that, Chickpea. We have hello Tofu in the house. Good to see you. How are you doing? And you're very welcome. But anyway, the topic for today, guys, is different energy sources. That makes you guys curious, I guess. But it's a good topic, guys. Different energy sources. That means wind, solar, hand crank, or if you use your pedals to create some energy. You know, I'm talking about back up. Um, yeah, if you can, get some electricity out of whale fat, that would be a good idea. No, I'm talking about electricity here. Um, Wind power, hand cranked, or you can create electricity by rebuild old bicycle and put a generator to it. so you can recharge your gear, your phone, the laptops. And I know you were kidding, hanging with the chef. Solar panels is another way to get um, energy from. Some people use solar panels for heating up their houses, and some use it for both heating and get some electricity from it. Which is a good idea. But solar panels are pretty expensive, especially if you have a big roof to put them on. Otherwise, you can build them a rack and put them on the ground and draw some cables into a shade that is connected to your house with a battery bank. So you have many batteries, you can store the electricity from there. Self sufficient on electricity. That is a really nice idea, right? But if you produce more than you need, you have to sell that you don't use. I think that we may have to change our expectations when it comes to energy consumption. I agree. Tesla makes a freestanding solar array. Okay, I didn't know that, but that's cool. That's really cool, Leonard. Um, and besides, I have one good news for you guys, and I'm gonna share this with guys with you. Yeah, that sounds awesome, Leonard. Um, present. There we have it. Okay, guys, I showed you this last stream, um, but I share it with you now, guys. Anyway, this one, this power station, I have ordered, so I will have it this month, at the end of this month or in the beginning of the next month. So I'm looking forward to have that. And you know what? I bought this with a solar panel. Um, I thought that was the best idea for it. So this is 600 watt hours power station with a 100 watt solar panel, and it's foldable. So I'm really excited, and I'm waiting for this one. Um, and the reason why I ordered this the station and the solar with the solar panel is, well, it's more expensive, but I think it's worth it. It's better to order both at the same time. Um, for one reason, you have it. You don't need to buy. If you buy only the power station, you have to wait to buy the solar panel. But I rather pay more for it, and hey, blended.
What's going on, Shadow?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And you?
Yeah, I'm well. I'm well. Look like we might get a little rain here.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like that. Hendo, welcome. And MC Josh, good to see you. So, I'm really excited when I get this power station with a solar panel. That will be really fun to charge it up and see how it works.
Is that for a contingency plan?
Yeah, that will be really nice to see how it looks like and how big the solar panel is, because it's hard to tell on a picture. It's much easier to see it um, when you have it. So, but I think that is a pretty big one anyway. 100 watts solar panel is pretty powerful. So this will be my backup system here. So I talked to my wife about it, and I decided to get it.
What will you use that for?
When the grid goes down, when you lose your power, you have that as a backup.
Hmm. So that would not power a refrigerator or electric
Yeah,
stove.
it can. Yeah, it can power actually a refrigerator, 150 watts.
Hmm.
So it's 600 watt hours. So a refrigerator is on 150 watts. So it will handle it.
Okay. So the idea would be primarily would be um, power your internet, your phone charging, lights, ceiling fans.
Um you can run A 10-watt light, GoPro 16 watts, camera 16.5 watts, um, television 110 watts, drone 60 watts, laptop 99 watts, CPAP machine 40 watts. So it's pretty good.
So how long does it take to charge?
Uh, I believe it. If you charge it from your uh, jack in the wall, you it takes probably if you charge it. I'm gonna see if I can find it here.
How long does it take to charge that with the panels?
Uh, fast charging with solar panels.
I think I lost voice.
Power station can be connected to some panels and charge fast 18.5 hours. If you put it in the uh, jack in the wall, you can uh, less than 7 hours, I believe.
Hmm, that's nice.
Well, yeah, yeah, and the best thing with this is you can charge it full and you leave it for don't touch it for 3 to 6 months, and when when you reach 3 months, you might put it in the jack and charge it up a bit to maintain the battery. So,
Yeah.
so that's not bad. So, hey, Sierra, good to see you, brother. Hey, Gail, good to see you. Camp Patton Family Compound is in the house. Hey, Gil, good to see you, brother. So that is and I I got it for a decent price too. So um, I paid 530 euros for it.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, if you compare the price for with a EcoFlow or a Bluetti, and if you in the same 600 watt hours, you have to pay at least for a EcoFlow. You 600 watt hours, you have to pay at least 15 to 20,000. So that would be a lot more.
Yeah. Do you lose power often?
No, not really, but it might happen once or twice a year, maybe. Uh, so it is not that often, but you never know if they decide to do these the shut down a certain area because the electricity is so expensive these days. So you never know
Yeah.
if they disconnect you. So
Yeah. I was just in August. I was in Hamburg, and I I'm in Texas now, but last
yeah,
August I was in Hamburg, and I've noticed that their electricity is really expensive over there.
yeah, it's really expensive here too.
Yeah, it's here in Texas, our energy is extremely inexpensive. We
Yeah,
I have a I don't know how much in meters, but I have a 3,000 square feet home, and everything runs on electricity. I don't have gas, anything. I mean, when I built a house, it's I'm on quite a bit of land here, and then I have a little small lake in the backyard,
Yeah,
and outside of the city of San Antonio, and in the wintertime, my electric bill is for 3,000 square feet homes. My last month electric bill was 115 US dollars. So,
ooh,
and that's everything. That's washer and dryer,
yeah.
electric stove, But we don't get as cold. We don't get cold.
Now you have different temperatures in Texas. You
Yeah, we
have
get
it a little bit warmer than we have here.
right. We in the summertime, we have no issue getting above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's so hot here. But I have two heat pumps, and it cools the house down. And my electric bill in the summertime is about $160 a month. It's not much.
Yeah, that's a lot of money anyway. But
But it's ungodly uncomfortable here, in the summertime. It's so hot.
yeah, you need probably air conditioner
Yeah.
system in built in if you already have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, we have built in. So I was well, like I said, in August, I went up to Copenhagen,
Yeah,
um, and it was hot there.
yeah.
And yeah, so I stayed in a hotel up there, a little south of Copenhagen, um, and they did not have AC, and it was fairly uncomfortable.
Yeah. Hey, CR, good to see you, brother.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, CR.
How are you doing, CR?
Okay. I'm getting some sun.
Well, that's at least something.
Yes, it's something.
Yeah. Leonard says electric is much higher here in Houston, usually over 300 per month. Ooh,
Wow.
that sucks, really. I mean, my electric bill will go up to 1,222 this month.
Euros.
No, crowns, Swedish krona.
Ah,
Pasa Makodi, welcome, my friend. You have a really tongue twisting name, my friend.
Passamaquoddy.
Yeah.
so
I
are you guys part of the EU?
Yeah, we're part of the EU. Yeah, we are members. We have been members in EU since 1995.
Okay. And you don't use the euros?
We use mostly our own currency,
Hmm.
but it depends on if we're trading or buy something from the some other country. It's mostly euros.
I see.
I don't like euros. Uh, I don't.
Hi, Kaylin. Hi,
Hey,
Vanessa Kitty.
Kaylin. Uh, well, we are members in the EU since 1995. but we do use euro now in our own country now. We keep our own currency.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they kept it. They wanted us to use the euro, but I'm against it.
Hmm.
I prefer we keep our own currency as it is. It's much better that way,
Mm.
in my opinion.
As a traveler, I do like the euros just because it stay consistent. Um, I've noticed that like when I went to Denmark, they
Yeah,
use a different currency, and then I went back down to Germany, then I'm back on the euros. So
yeah,
now I have excess Denmark currency.
yeah,
And when I went to Chechnya, I have a different currency, and it gets, when I come back to the States, I have a pocket full of different change. So yeah,
Mm.
it's
And
not
of course, you don't.
much.
Mhm.
What are you going to say, CR?
I was about to say, he has so much coin, he doesn't want to check it in because it'll add too much weight. I'm speaking like that. It'll add too much weight. It's like, oh, I don't want to pay for that overcharge. I'll just carry it in my pockets.
Yeah, I mean, the coins are not much except for the euros. The euros here in the States, we seldom use coins anymore. Um, but you have your quarters, and you don't use 50 cents pieces that much, or the dollar coins anymore. But when you're over in Europe, you have to, when you obviously you have to use the restroom, and restroom over there charges you to use the restroom, and it's coins. And then sometimes when it's like a euro, 1 euro, whatever it is, and when you get change after you spend like 50 euros on something, you get change, right? And their change, and I'm used to looking at a coin like it's a quarter, but their coins are like 2 euros per coin, you know. So, and they don't take tips or taxes, so because all the prices are included. And sometimes I just have change I delete tips, and sometimes I don't realize it. Sometimes I think I'm giving a dollar, like 4 quarters, and it turned out to be $8 because it's freaking
Oops.
2 euros.
Well, we got a lot of coins here in Canada too, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are here in Sweden. We are almost cashless.
Yeah, I like the cash. I do like that.
I'm a little bit of against that because that makes us more vulnerable if the system goes down. If the you go to a store and their register systems doesn't work, you can't pay
or
with your card. You need to pay
or
with cash,
or the
physical
system
cash.
or the system or the network connection's not there.
Yeah, that's true.
That happened here in Canada. I already put out that video
Yeah.
on right when the telecommerce went down for a day or so, right? Yeah, so people had issues with that, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
there's
you're
no
right. It does
communication
happen.
to the system, right? So that
Right.
means, oh, back to cash, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you have on you, right? I mean, some people were like,
Yeah, like I've gone to grocery store, and the grocery store, the major grocery store have lost electricity, you know, and so they can't even take cash because their register doesn't work. You know.
mm-hmm,
So you
yeah,
need to have another ways to pay them. So if you have physical cash you can pay, they usually take it. So
Yeah. Well, our system here, they can't even ring up, you know, grocery because they put everything across a scanner and their registers just lock up.
Yeah, I know about that, Kaylin. She did that video. I remember that one now.
Uh,
Survival
Kaylin,
Lily, yeah.
Kaylin says Survival Lily had to do just that when she was in a store. She said it in a vid she put up today about possible blackouts in Austria. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that video a couple
I'm
days
gonna
ago, I
check.
think.
I have to check that video up myself. Actually,
Yeah.
I have to do that later. It's hard to
Well,
do now.
well, see, it comes back to I know we're on a different tangent compared to the energy thing, but it sort of ties in. It sort of ties in because
It does.
if it's not a network issue, maybe the grid's down, right? Which also means it's the same thing. It'll be the same result anyways, right? You can't get what you want. And if you have cash, you might be able to get something. Let's say you don't have enough or whatever. Hopefully, you don't have to buy it now or need it right now. Hopefully, you have something that can get you by, or maybe you can partner with a friend or a coworker or something. Hey, I'll trade you some this for that. I can't get it at the store right now, right? So
Yeah, the reason why we go to a cashless system is they say it is too expensive to handle the cash.
printed.
Yeah.
It's probably the printing, right? Because the machinery and all that stuff. It's got to be retooled every
Yeah,
time.
but the stores need to transport the money to the bank. So, and those who transports,
Oh yeah, armored vehicles, right? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
right, all that
armored
stuff.
vehicle, yeah, that costs. So that's
Labor,
why,
yeah, labor.
yeah, so
But
that is why they want to make us cashless. But I think that is a stupid idea.
it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable.
It really is.
Yes, it has its conveniences, but it's only as convenient as if it's there. If it's not working, the grid's down, system's down, then it's not very useful.
Yeah. But anyway, so if something is down, you need to pay, and if you can't use your plastic card if the register system is down. So
Network issues, right?
yeah,
Right?
so
And these things have happened, right? Here in Canada
yeah,
last year, right? Whole day, and that was on a Friday too, right? That was on a Friday too. That happened, right? So
yeah,
people were thinking, "Oh yeah, I'll just get some cash, go to karaoke with it." Nope, right?
yeah. We had some problem at work with our register system. It didn't work. So, but they solved the problem. But anyway, it's not fun. So but our grocery stores take cash and our plastic cards. But anyway, it's always good to have physical cash on hand.
Hmm. Maybe this should be a topic for the next time, so we can get more in
Yeah.
depth into it. Yeah,
Yeah, that would
we'll
be
go.
it.
Yeah, I think we'll go on to back to the energy thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So yeah. So what's your thoughts on electric cars,
well, it
electric
depends on where.
vehicles?
Yeah,
Hybrid.
uh, it depends on where you live. Uh, where I live in the northern parts of Sweden, it's cold at winters, and if you have 100% electric car, they that car will have some problems to start up when it's cold outside. You will have some problems with that. So if you have a hybrid, both electric and gasoline or diesel,
Some sort of liquid fuel or a
yeah,
fuel.
if you have that, you have it's much easier. You start on the gasoline, and when you fire up your car, you can
Hmm.
switch over to the electric. So
Yeah. Yeah, I generally prefer that hybrid on both on many fronts.
yeah, and the problem with 100% full electric car is you have a limited range you can drive on one charging. So you don't have any possible. You need to know exactly where you can recharge your car if you are
Well,
going
that
on a longer trip.
well, just to add something, the infrastructure has to be there for recharging your vehicle. If it's not there, then it's like, if it's all the way across town just to go recharge your vehicle, that's not very convenient.
Yeah, and Leonard says I have heard that they can't charge when they're very cold. No, and they will not hold the charge either. Um, Kaylin says that my city's electric buses do not run in the winter because they won't hold a charge for a full day's running. No, batteries are very sensitive to lower temperatures, especially below the zero.
Well, yeah, look at all the lithium batteries that we have in our phones and all that stuff. Go outside when it's minus 20. Okay, for you guys in the US, 0 Fahrenheit or minus 17 Celsius, you'll start noticing it real fast, and your battery just goes, even if you're not using it or actively using it. It's because it's cold, especially if it's
Yeah,
outside recording, right? Ask anyone that
yeah.
records video outside during the winter.
Uh, and
They'll tell you,
Vanessa
yeah,
says electric bus rollout here was abruptly stopped when one burnt up on highway a bit ago. Okay, that's not good. And Kaylin says the hybrid buses can still run because the diesel engines still work. Yeah, so that's why I trust uh, a hybrid more than I trust a full electric car. And besides, those cars are really expensive to buy.
well, yeah, it's newer technology.
Yeah,
Usually, newer technology is more expensive in the beginning until it's more widely mass produced, accepted, and all that stuff. It's just like a phone, right? The
yeah,
newest phone's always going to be more expensive because it's the newest, right? They're trying to break it. The manufacturing process has to break even, make some money off of it.
yeah. And Hendo has a good point. The batteries are poisonous, can't be recycled correctly. Replacing it costs as much as a new car. Yeah,
Can I
that's the
add something to
problem.
that? Can I add something to that? Yeah, I
Yeah,
want to add
please
something.
do. Please do.
Yes, leave that on the screen for a moment. There, it, some of it may be recyclable, but then there's other parts that are more difficult to recycle or have to be brought to a certain facility to be able to be reused or recover the materials. Let's say the lithium, let's say the aluminum, the copper, and all that stuff, right? It has to be in the facility has to exist too, right? You need the infrastructure for it too. Like no, I can recycle this, blah blah blah, vehicle, but I
Is
gotta
Yeah,
go
is
all the way
lithium?
across town for it. That's not very
Yeah,
convenient.
oh yeah. Well, is lithium a hazardous material, or can they just throw it away in the garbage?
Well, they're trying to reuse the lithium because lithium. See, for anyone that doesn't know, when they're mining lithium, it actually takes quite a bit of water to mine it. I forget the procedure how that all works, but I do know that you need a lot of water to mine lithium too. So just to keep that in mind.
yeah.
Yeah,
Who can afford an electric car? Only dodgy political class and upper class. Yeah, they can afford it.
yeah. So, I think Chevrolet has an electric car for less than 30,000 US. But the range is is around 200 miles. You know, and of course it goes upward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard
And
about that. I heard about that, Kaylin. Great man prepping with an E, by the way. It is one of his videos he just posted in the beginning. A lot of people are getting into it. I've seen some other people getting into that too, right? Where an e-bike or something along the lines of that, or scooter or whatever, right?
Hey, Len Whistler, good to see you, brother.
so
Vanessa
so I guess
says, newer tech. When was the first electric car made? Well, I believe the
1900s. Remember, the
yeah,
electric vehicle actually came
yeah.
before.
Wasn't
Yeah.
that 1990? They began to do some experiments with that.
The only reason is because the battery technology was weaker compared to like,
right,
well,
right,
gasoline and oil price, right?
right,
But now
right.
the technology's advanced a lot more.
So the reason I ask about the electric car, it goes back to the battery that the energy pack that you just purchased.
Yeah,
Um, there are scenarios where people would lose power. You know, the grid is down,
yeah,
and they would just plug the house into their car. You know, and so if a car can run 200 miles or 300 miles, that would power your house for literally a couple of days.
Well, depending what you're using and all that stuff. I mean,
Right, right. Yeah. It's not going to
yeah,
power a full, you know, you're not going to power your electric dryer running.
yeah.
Or,
I think during that time you'd probably be like fridge, freezer,
yeah,
maybe a stove or something like that. Everything else, no luxury, no toaster, right? No microwave, too much.
right. Mhm. Yeah, you're not
So
going to run AC, you know, the AC compressor and stuff, but you will be comfortable with ceiling fans and, you know, stuff to
yeah,
keep you
yeah,
cool.
yeah. You would run fan. Well, it's not just that. You probably would try to minimize your usage. Especially, okay, let's say it's a scheduled power outage, or hey, you're getting notifications on when it's supposed to come back. That's one thing, but it's unexpected, some sort of, let's say, tornado, hurricane, all this sort of stuff. That's uncertain.
yeah.
You wouldn't know when
Ice
it comes.
storms.
Yeah, you wouldn't know when it comes back. So you would have to ration it and treat it like, hey, this might come back in a couple of days, might be the whole week, right? So you would want to ration that a little bit out, just so for like your fridge, freezer, right? Make sure they keep going.
Yeah. Well, in that scenario, I guess, so let's put that scenario to test, right? So you have a, I don't know, for lack of a better car, you know, lack of better terms, lack of a better car, just for me to speak on. Let's say you have a Tesla that gets 325 miles, right? So I'm just throwing that out, you know, 320 miles, right?
Mhm.
And you have a hurricane comes in. Well, if a hurricane comes in, knock out your power, I mean, your gas pump is not going to work, right? So you're not getting fuel in your truck or your car. So you hop in your electric car and you buzz out, you know, 300 miles north from wherever. No, now you have charging station, you have all that stuff. Meanwhile, someone that's unexpectedly, um, and maybe that's just an awful scenario because people know when a hurricane's coming. You know, they don't know where it hits, but they know where it's coming. You know, so they can, I guess, they can just fill up their vehicles and get out of there. But let's say you don't, you get in an electric car when gas station doesn't work. You know, so there is, I guess there are. Like I said, we're talking about alternative energy, so that's why I brought that up. You know, it's just some thoughts of, you know, just I don't have a
Yeah,
vehicle.
no,
I mean, I don't have an electric vehicle. You know, I have a diesel truck with 2 batteries on it, and you guys were spot on because when it got cold here, the truck I had to put it on charger before the truck started. You know, I have two gel cells, and it wouldn't turn over my diesel truck.
mhm.
I mean, it's a great topic. You know, it makes you think. You know, and it is real scenario where we do lose power. You know, especially here in Texas. You know,
Yeah,
we I guess we had a snowstorm. I mean, a
History
snowstorm up
shows it,
north.
right? history shows it, right? It has happened. I
Yeah.
lost power last year during. Well, I shouldn't say last year. I keep forgetting it's 2023. 2021 during the heat dome that affected here in Canada. I lost power for a couple hours, right? I didn't expected that
Okay, Gail, no
because
problem.
we'll catch you around, Gil.
Yeah.
But what I was expecting it because I'm like, okay, it's hot, air conditioning, probably running extensively and all that stuff. I expected that, and I was right. And luckily, it was just a few hours, right? I expected that. I'm like, oh, come on, it's everyone's shooting fans, AC on. We're probably using a lot of power. They're probably some maybe rolling brownouts or something like that. I
Yes.
expected to see that, so
See,
I made sure
the
I.
thing is,
Yeah.
yeah, you are so spot on, right? And we have kind of like the opposite here. I mean, it's like we had that cold front that came in for like, I don't know, 3, 4 days. And I'm in a neighborhood. I don't know if you can see it. I'm in a neighborhood where we have a lot of entitled people here. And it got cold, and everybody turned on the furnace. But it was around Christmas time, and everybody had their lights on. All these Christmas decorations that they have outside. The whole home is lit up. You can see it from, I guess, the satellite. I guess it's all bright here.
I know. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
I could see the
Yeah.
town from space.
Yeah, the space station call and say, "Hey, you're glaring me," So, yeah, they wouldn't turn off the power. They wouldn't turn off the outside lights, and so we lost power. We lost power because we didn't expect it, and it is so real. I mean, it's kind of opposite of what you just said because in the summertime you guys run AC, but here, we don't have gas furnaces. Everything is electric. I mean, if you want gas, you pay. They buried like that house across the street right there. He's like 4,500 square feet to 5,000 square feet or something like that, and he buried giant propane tanks. So they have gas, but propane trucks have to come in. So yeah, I mean, it's just you're spot on, man. It's like unexpectedly, boom, you lose power.
Yeah, and you can lose power pretty quick. You can go to bed and sleep, and when you wake up in the morning, you don't have any power.
Can I add to that? That
Yeah,
actually happened to me once at a friend's place, right? I just literally got up. I was just about to make coffee, right? And the power went out. Right? I've explained the story before to some of you or on my channel, but basically, I was in the kitchen, power went out. Now, this was because of a different issue, right? This is not quote unquote the grid went down. It's just that local area, right? But
yeah,
what's the first thing that's gonna happen? It's still dark out. It was the middle of winter, right? Like maybe around just below freezing or whatever, right? Just in December, luckily enough, as prepared-minded individual, I have a flashlight on me, right? So I brought that out right away, so I didn't have to stumble in the dark trying to find stuff, talk to my friend or whatever, right? I was ready for that kind of deal. Lasted a couple hours, so it was quite
I put
inconvenient,
this up
but
again. I put up this again. So I think it's a good investment to have this. And this power station has a pure sinus wave too, so that is really good.
isn't this the one that you showed last week? No, this is the one you were
Yeah,
showing us.
yeah. And I have bought this one with the solar panel. I thought it's better to put some more extra money into it and have it, and rather than buy the power station and wait and buy the panel. So it's better you buy both at the same time so you have it.
And
Okay, so
nothing is.
go ahead. Sorry.
I was. Well, actually, you can go with your comment first.
Okay, so thank you. So, how would you hook this up?
I have probably the solar panel. I have to put it on my balcony. So I live in an apartment.
How would you capture it? I mean, how would you use the generator itself?
Well, how you use it? You can plug in. I enlarge this a little bit more. It's
Yeah. So
uh,
while you're doing, this is, I mean, because
you have
I've gone through. Yeah, go ahead.
you have different jacks on this. You have for car. You can recharge this in the car,
Mhm.
so that is really good. And you have USB. You have well
Okay,
uh,
so
the
let
230
me.
volt AC and
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let
So
me.
you can use, yeah, you can plug in your devices and all that stuff. And
yeah, your
Yeah. So
laptop,
how
your
would you run a
phone.
ceiling fan off of that? How would you run like? Okay, so this is my thought process on that product, right? So because you're running
how to,
220 over there, right? So let's say you have this thing sitting in your house
Yeah,
and you lost power, right? And then you're limited to those plugs. But what if you have a male to male, right? And you go out to your circuit breaker and you will shut it down. And then you would put a male plug into this and a male plug into a wall outlet. You would just heat up the whole outlet like you lost no electricity. That whole strand of circuit would work. Everything in your wall would work on that circuit.
yeah, probably. I'm not an expert, so um,
yeah, I'm
Okay,
starting to
I'm
dive
so
into that. I was gonna say I'm
right,
yeah,
starting to
so
just dive into that too. It's more advanced, right? A little bit more
right,
advanced compared
yeah,
to.
okay, so let me walk you through it, right? So
uh,
if you look at your power box,
yeah,
right, your circuit breaker, right? Each one of those circuits, each one of those circuits is dedicated to certain string that's in the wall, certain set of wires that's in the wall, certain outlets that's
yeah,
in the wall,
Okay.
right? So if you lose power, can you still hear me?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
yeah,
So let's say you lose power, you go out to your main circuit box and you shut it down, right? So now when your electricity come back up, it doesn't burn anything, right? So you find a dedicated circuit in the wall that you want, and you would just plug this an extension cord with two males outlet. You would plug this into that specific wall outlet. That would light up the whole string in your house. You can plug anything in the walls to include. I mean, you can light up your light switch. You can light up anything with this box. And then when
yeah.
your light comes
Technically,
on, yeah. So if you see your neighbor lights come back on, then you would unplug this and go turn on your power, turn on your circuit breaker, the main circuit breaker.
Yeah, you would switch back.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's how I would look at this thing. To use it to heat up the whole house versus just use those few outlets that you have there.
Okay. But now let's consider that this is probably gonna be like at home. So
Yeah,
you still want to be ready when you're at work, at school, stuff like that. Friends' places, right? Well, because the power outage things can happen when you're not at home, and I've experienced that a few times now. I'm not at home, right? The solar or stuff, if you got it at home, that's one thing. But let's say you're away and stuff like that. So
right. And I guess to
yeah,
prevent I mean, since we're talking, it sounds like we're prepping. Since we're talking about possible power outage, I would put like a couple of like jugs of empty milk jugs or whatever it is, you know, into your freezer. So and it turns to ice, and then when you lose power, that ice will keep your product nice and cold in the freezer.
yeah,
So that means you don't have
yeah.
to use that. You don't have to worry about plugging your refrigerator because that does consume a lot of power.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, with welcome because there's people on the side chat. Poor Haven, Bob, hi, both of you. I see you. Pookie, I see you all.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm on the phone, so I don't see the chat at all.
No, no, that's why I'm saying it. So
Yeah,
you can
thank you.
say
Yeah,
welcome and hi to them too. Yes, because they're all saying hi.
Oh,
Because we're
Yeah,
on a tangent. Yeah, because we're on
hello
a
everyone.
tangent.
So
Yeah.
sorry.
Don't worry, don't worry. Don't worry, everyone. I made sure that he noticed you all. You guys are important too.
yeah. Vanessa says the power interconnect must protect from when power returns as well. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to fry something and have a
No.
good time. Yeah. Or worse, right? Right.
Oh, you're hearing extra voices. Don't know what I'm
Is
doing
that is,
to
is
cause
that
the
your
extra
wife?
audio.
I,
Yeah,
I thought
it's
that
my
was your wife.
wife. Yeah, it's my
Yeah, I know.
wife and her or friend. So,
Oh, oh, okay, okay.
hey Nikki, good to see you.
Hi, Nikki.
I have a solar panels interconnect to home and street level power, separate meters, etc.
Hmm. Yeah, the reason why I brought that up is because yeah, homesteaders are, most of us are home at times, but we do go out, right? Not everyone just stays at home all the time, the whole year, right? So when you're out on the road and all this sort of
Yeah,
stuff, right? When you're away from that stuff, right? But,
yeah,
people visiting, Christmas time, right? People are visiting
and
people and stuff like that.
yeah, and besides that generator, I will never have it plugged in the wall socket when the power is out because that will be separated from that. So I
Mm,
run it because the power station is a battery pack itself. So
yeah. Well, it's just a big battery bank, right?
yeah, a very big battery bank.
And really heavy.
Y- Yeah, it probably I don't know the weight of it, but it's probably an 18, 20 kilo or so.
Holy
Probably.
cow.
Yeah. I remember one
It's
kilogram equals
portable.
2 point. Remember, 1 kilogram equals 2.28 pounds, if I remember right, or 2.2,
Yeah.
one of the two. So yeah, that's about 40 pounds. That's really heavy to lug around. You need like a
Happy
cart
New
or
Year
something
to
like
you,
that.
Nikki.
Yes.
There is a reason the size wired coming from street. What they are, same for the solar panel interconnect. I have been at work when the power goes out to the building. We just had to wait till it came back on. Yeah,
But it's if it's at nighttime or whatever, right? This is why I'm a big proponent of not only keeping your phone charged, but maybe having a flashlight on you, right? Just so it's not totally you're not left in the dark.
yeah. Corner Clubhouse, Cobalt 66. Good to see you, brother.
Hi.
Yeah, Kaylin, that one I ordered will probably weigh around 18 kilos, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be like almost 40 pounds. Just under 40 pounds, probably 38 or 39.
Yeah,
So I mean, they also have those where you can boost your vehicle. Those they're a little bit bigger than a normal type of battery bank, but I've seen those around too. I know some people with them. Some people swear by them, right? Because you don't need jumper cables, right? You don't need another vehicle, right, to jump your vehicle with.
so I will not store that generator in the basement. I will store it in the apartment. Uh, and I'm pretty strong, so 18 kilo for me is not that much actually. So
Yeah. Okay, Shadow. We'll see when you actually start going from all the way up, down, bringing it up.
yeah,
Then you
from the
can tell
top.
it. You could say it, but actually do it, right? Be like on video, be like, okay, see, look, I'm doing it. That'd be cool. It's, I'm carrying my solar generator upstairs and what?
Hey guys, so thank you
Hello.
so much for the invite. I have to get off of here.
No
You guys
problem,
have a good
Leonard.
weekend.
Take care.
And we have Thor.
What's going on, guys?
Ta-da!
Doing
What
amazing
up,
today.
boy?
Hope you
Good to
guys
see you.
are.
And
Four.
Thor, I ordered that power station actually
It shouldn't be as
With-
heavy as you're saying. Like
with the solar panel too.
that's my Arc 3. That one's like 300 watts. That's like it's not that heavy. And I think the
You didn't bring that other one.
the 600 watt version of this is only like 12 pounds. So the one you ordered shouldn't be that heavy.
Okay, you are probably right. It's hard to say or tell how to tell when you see it on the picture.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
More battery capacity or let's say milliamp
Yeah.
hours, the heavier it's gonna be, right? It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
The measurements
It's just
for
like-
the product is 35 by 70 by 50 centimeters. So
I have no idea. You'd have to convert that to inches for me.
oh Lord.
2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch.
Leonard Land, good to see you, brother.
What's going
Anyway.
on?
Hey, folks, how are you?
Good.
I've never, you know what? For I've never seen you wear like
Clothes?
So how are you doing, Leonard?
it looks good on you.
Pretty good.
Never
good
saw me wear
shadow.
what?
I'm doing good.
I was saying I've never seen you wear a dark hat.
Oh,
You
yeah.
usually, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My other ones are upstairs, so I was like, hey, I gotta, I was just listening in and I was like, I don't think the weight's right on that. So I just wanted to kind of jump in and
Well,
mention that.
you're probably correct about it.
It should tell you in the ad how much it weighs.
yeah.
Yeah, but they don't. So
What?
Mm.
That's crazy talk.
Well, maybe you can find a video or some reference that they say it.
yeah. Wait a minute. I found it, by the way. 12 kilograms.
12 kilogram?
Yeah.
That's about
So-
25 pounds.
Yeah, so
1
it's not
kilogram
too bad.
equals 2.2 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's not so bad.
that's not too
Hey.
bad. You
Hey,
run that
hey,
around
hey.
wherever you need to go. So
Yeah,
I
you can
counted
use
it.
it like weights, right?
yeah,
use
there
it
you
like
go.
weights. You don't have to wait. You don't have to buy weights now. Just put it
And with
in
that
your-
size too, it's easy to store out of the way in a closet,
Yep.
on a shelf somewhere.
Yep.
So
Well, I think it's a good
I will-
idea.
yeah. I will have it probably at the end of this month or in the beginning of February. So I'm
Oh,
so
a long
excited.
shipping time. Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah, I tried to order it from Amazon.se, the Swedish Amazon. They
Mhm.
couldn't deliver it.
Aw.
Oh man,
So we had to go to the German Amazon. They could deliver it.
Huh.
wow.
Hmm.
That's going to cost you a lot of extra freight, isn't it?
Yeah, I paid 530 euro for it, so almost 6,000 with the solar panel and the power station together.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the best idea to do. Put all the money on both solar panel and the power station together.
Yeah, it's probably better. Then you got the one that it needs and the right size and everything.
Yeah. Hey, Guardian
if you
Prepping,
wait-
good to see you, brother.
If you wait sometimes for
TP.
stuff like that, they change connections or change the models, and then you're like,
Right.
now I
Oh,
gotta-
crap.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, you
When
have
they
to
do
buy
that.
new cables or something.
Why did they change model?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, just to add in here, like anything, do try it out, right? Like any piece of gear or anything like that, do try it out. Learn the limitations or what the capability of it, right? Beforehand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
hey, you did a test and be like, hey, I can run the fridge for one full day.
Yeah.
The whole time, right? Then you would know at least.
Running
Versus,
the fridge is important.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
versus,
you can
hey,
run a fridge with that one.
you don't want to be
Yeah.
in that situation where it's already happened and now you're trying to test it or know things
Right.
about trying to, right? I'd rather know, hey, it can last 24 hours versus, I don't know, how long can it last for?
And you also
that's not
want to
very
know
smart.
where to plug it in.
They also
Yeah.
tell you how long they can last for. So like as soon as you
Okay,
plug this
Kaylin.
in, it tells you how many hours you got left.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a pretty good one there.
and
some
put a load
panels
onto
come
it.
with adapters, so you can use them with different power stations. My Rock Pals folding panel has a set of these adapters. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, test run. Yeah, I
Yeah.
will test run it.
Where oh, this is how long it takes to charge.
Yeah.
This is how long it lasts for the fridge or freezer, whatever, right?
You'll be surprised
can
what it
gauge
can
it.
charge too. Yeah.
Well, so you can gauge it, right? So, like I said, the power outage, it's one thing if it's planned, scheduled. Oh, your utility say, hey, the power's going to be back in a few hours. Just hold on, everyone, right? Versus it's a hurricane storm or whatever that really knocks it out, that there's no way to know when it would come back. That way you can, like, gauge it and, if you have to ration, you can.
Yeah, that's just it. Run your fridge for 2 hours or whatever and switch it to something else. And
you would
that's the
still
one
be
thing
like,
I do too is whenever the power goes out, I always wait before hooking stuff up. I'm like, there's no reason to plug stuff in right now. I'm like, the fridge is going to last. The freezer is going to last for a couple hours easy. Without you
if you don't
touching
open it.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
freezer. Yeah, because
So there's
it's just
no
like
point
a cooler.
starting
It's
it
just
right
like
away.
It's like a
if-
cooler, right?
Yeah.
Because I've explained this to Gil. Well, I shouldn't say explained, but I've talked to Gil before about the best friend. It's just like, in the first few hours, I'm not so worried about that because the fridge is it's still cold, right? It's still cold as long as you don't open it right away, right? That's the first thing. If the power goes out, I'm like, okay, everyone, don't open the fridge overly. We don't know how long this is gonna last. It could be a few minutes, few hours, but we're not sure. So, think about what you want to get. Pull it out, close the fridge right away, right? No opening the fridge. What do I want?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that's true. Because the fridge will keep it cold quite a while.
Yep.
It's like a cooler, right? Yeah.
As long as you not open it too often.
Yeah.
It's just like a
Or
cooler,
too
right?
frequently.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
same
it's
with
like a
the
Right,
freezer.
and if you happen to have stored ahead a couple of those jugs of ice, throw them in the fridge.
Or snow. I've lost a fridge before in the middle of winter. Thank goodness it was in the winter. I just used snow in the cooler. I was good until I got a new one, right? So I was lucky. Because even that was during the middle of the summer. Yeah, a generator's nice, but not when you don't actually have the fridge. All right, you can't power the fridge if there's no fridge. So that's why I always keep those coolers around still. Useful, even in the winter.
Yeah.
Okay.
With that too, you can always just throw food in the cooler and throw it outside.
Yeah, or throw snow in it, right? That's the benefits
That
of
too.
living here in northern climates, right? Because I know people in Texas, they did that. And they eventually, you would see it in the news, right? It's just like people would eventually do it. It's just like, I'm going to start doing it right away, probably. All right. Use the snow or ice, right? Because that'll preserve food for a while.
Yep. Oh, exactly.
Yeah. right? You know, well, because I'm thinking that, let's say, solar generator or a generator, right? Depending how much fuel you had, right? You know, you might have to ration it, which means, yeah, you got to use. I would be using the snow or the ice, so I don't have to fire up the generator yet or as often.
Wow, I keep dropping internet.
Yeah, I
Yes, I
noticed.
noticed you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll stay on now. Did the same thing yesterday
Okay.
about this time. That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Um, my fridge is set to the lowest temp it can go. My water bottles in the back of the top shelf are frozen solid. They help keep
Yeah.
the fridge cooler for a longer time after the power goes out. Yeah, that's a
Yep, that's
good
true.
idea.
Yeah, I know
And
people that are expecting hurricanes and stuff like that. One of the things to do is start freezing stuff in the and fill up your fridge with cold, right? Or freezer with
yeah,
cold. It'll buy
I've
you
done
some
that,
time, right?
except the problem is like then you accidentally stick your eggs back there, your cheese back there, your yogurt, and then you pull it out to eat it, and it's frozen. It's like, no,
You have
son of a-"
yogurt ice cream instead.
I've done that
Bro-
before, and it's just like, oh no.
yeah. Well, one thing I
Especially with the
found is
eggs.
if whatever container, like if it's a milk or a milk or water bottle, if it actually touches the side, it'll freeze, and if it doesn't, then you'll be okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because of conduction, right? Because it's
Yeah.
directly touching it. Oh,
Right.
yeah. Okay.
Of course, that may not be
Oh,
100% true all the time, but I've had it happen.
Good rule of thumb.
Yep.
well, it just reminds me. I think the larger the ice block is, it takes longer for it to melt because the center is insulated from the outside, right?
Right.
Compared to, let's say, you use like a 250 mil or 500 mil bottle versus a 2 liter of a bottle or a 4 liter or 1 gallon container. There's
Yeah.
gonna be a difference, even if you have the same
Yeah.
amount of water.
Exactly.
It's just like why crushed ice melts so fast, right? Because glaciers, so it melts really fast.
Right.
If it's totally
Well,
solid, it'll take a while.
a fun fact about water at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is freezing,
0
if you have
Celsius.
ice in water, the ice will melt before the water freezes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking about another way, possible option to get some electricity is this. If I can find it.
Hook a bicycle up to a generator.
No, well, that's another option. But if you have a house, you can have a windmill generator like
Oh,
this
right,
type.
right.
If you have a house,
Yeah.
Some gears running some alternator.
I don't know how it works, but it's this is a wind turbine energy windmill for home. So
We've looked into those, and unless you're kind of recharging a battery and then drawing from the battery, they don't charge really anything, or they don't power anything at all. That's the sad part.
yeah,
Well, solar's like that. It usually,
but
you're
it could be
powering
a
them.
complement to your solar panels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
right.
definitely, if you're adding that with a solar panel to charge battery banks and then drawing from the battery banks, you're good. But yeah,
Most
trying
of the time you're
to-
not drawing directly from solar or wind. You're actually
No,
drawing
no.
from a battery source that
Yeah.
gets replenished top to off and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's just like what I was going to say about
Kaylee said
those.
these are mini wind turbines. You can get, they can be more discreet than the bigger ones. Yeah.
Oh, wind turbines? There is so many variations on this. There's ones that
Yeah.
go on the top of your roof, right? And they basically channel the air because the roof channels the air around over top. Basically, it just sits right at the apex of your roof. I've seen those. It's newer technology. Everyone's all familiar with the wind turbines that are wide. There's 3 of them. They're several meters or feet wide and all that stuff. They're really tall. They make noise. But there is our version.
Yeah, I saw one
wind
advertised
turbine.
recently that was small. That would fit on your roof.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, it's probably not going to generate as much power, those, but they're a little bit more quiet and stuff like that. More manageable for people with a house or don't have a lot of room.
Yeah, but I would use it in combination with the solar panels.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. You know, I mean, like, if you got access. Yeah.
And you need to live on a windy place in a windy area.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, wind can work during the night or on a cloudy day a little bit and supplement some power in for you, right? So you have the best of both, right? So hopefully the sun is shining or the wind's blowing, and if they're both going, then you're really good, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you're diversifying that power option, right? So there's less of an Achilles heel, right? So if you're just on solar, well, it's night. Eventually, you get night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kaylin has a point. Wind power can be drawn at night, which is a plus. With solar panels,
you'll have to wait till you'll have to wait till daylight.
Right.
Yeah.
But their battery bank will supply you with power all night. At least it's supposed to.
You know, hopefully, right? It just depends how much you're drawing. Remember, it's like an equation or like math. You know,
right.
Input, you know, hopefully is greater than output. Because if your output is greater than the input, you're not gonna have enough.
Unless you're way up north where you're like half your year is in darkness. So then you're screwed. You got to go wind.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know we're all talking about power and wind, but there is
good to see you.
Hey,
what is up?
I'm popping in here real quick. I'm at my powerlifting meet, and I just got done benching, and I did 5 pounds better than I did last year, so I ended up with 430 pounds.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Congrats, man.
Good day about that. So I figured I'd pop in and say hello to everybody.
Nice to see you.
Shadow, I'm going to jump off. I got to grab some dinner.
Okay,
get it ready for the kids.
All right.
So,
all right.
We'll see everyone later.
Man.
See you around 4. See you
later.
So, puppy dog. Puppy dog. Right here. Okay, I won't bother you.
Yeah, that's the idea at the end.
Hi to everybody. Here I'm still they're doing the deadlifts now, so I got to get back over there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck.
All right. So everybody have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. And after 15 tries, we finally have a Speaker of the House. We're more embarrassing than England.
I know.
Now I don't have to watch the news.
Well, the fun part is it only takes one dissenter to get him revoted. He gave all those concessions.
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah, that was McBean. Awesome guy.
Yeah. So before he came in, I was gonna say, for some people, and I say some people, it depends. Remember, this energy power thing. It depends where you are too, right?
Exactly.
If it doesn't, you know, up north right now, like in the Arctic, you're not getting solar much. It's nice in the summer, yeah. Obviously, in the summer, right? You'll be able to run AC the whole time if you want, right? But during the winter, no, not so much, right? Wind doesn't blow everywhere, right? You're in the valley, you're probably not getting much wind, right? You know, yeah, there's water options, but you're gonna be by the body of water or close enough, right? You know.
Yeah, and they make like ramjet pumps and stuff that you can run electricity off of for water.
You know, if you're by the ocean or wherever, yeah, they got tidal power, but you're gonna be close enough.
No. I'm talking about flowing streams.
Oh yeah, well that's what I mean, right? Some sort of hydro type of power, right? I mean, there is.
Good to see you.
There is battery. See,
Welcome to the
I
stream,
haven't
my
actually
friend.
seen anyone with one. I always see it like, oh, here's on Kickstarter or whatever, where they have this little turbine that charges up a battery bank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know uh
Yeah, exactly,
what's that called?
Kevin.
What?
That is another way to get
Yeah,
your energy
yeah,
from hydro
yeah. Well,
energy,
Yeah.
yeah,
but you need, as Kalen says, constant running water nearby,
Right.
and you
yeah.
need to
Because I
and you need to figure out how to. You need, first of all, a wheel that spins,
well, you just yeah, you
No,
need
and
like
then you need an.
they make things set up for that.
well,
Okay, that's
I'm
good.
talking about in a small scale.
Yeah.
I know there's
No, I
large
am too.
scale.
I
Oh,
used
okay.
to several years ago. I was really into researching it and trying to think about possibly doing something like that. But I was still in North Idaho then, and now that's
Hmm.
been like 35 years ago, so or more than that now, and everything has changed and improved and smaller. So
Hmm.
I mean, it was available then, and you could buy the stuff for a small scale. It was too expensive, so
Yeah,
I never
Yeah,
did do
I
it.
mean, well, I know, like I said, there is this one. I think, yeah, you just put it in a stream, like basically, but it takes about
Right.
4 hours to charge it all the way back up, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully, and there's a minimal um, current or wind speed that's necessary
Right.
to get it going, right? To get it going
Yeah.
and stuff
It's
like that.
it's been so long. It's been so long ago. I don't remember all the details. But
I mean, there's supposed to be this one that can accept both wind and water.
wow.
So,
Yeah. See,
all right, so
they've
that's
changed, they've improved everything since I was looking at it.
yeah. I mean, if you look at it like that, that's more options, right? It's not just wind or not just water. You
Right.
can use both, right? It's just like
Yep.
having the solar and the wind,
Yeah.
right? Oh, hey, the wind's not blowing. Oh, but I'm by the stream, right? Oh, I'm in the desert, but the wind's blowing.
Right.
You know, it's just because energy is everywhere around us. We're just trying to harness it to do some work for us, right?
Well,
There's plenty of solar, right?
I want the Tesla way of doing it where you can just get it out of the air.
Yeah, right. There's power or energy everywhere around us. We're just trying to harness
Right.
it, gather it enough to do work for us, right?
Yeah.
Solar, there's enough solar. Except for the sun doesn't always shine, and solar panels are only so effective or efficiency,
That's the
right?
biggest thing. They
Yeah,
aren't that efficient.
yeah, they can only convert so much of the sunlight into actual potential energy that we can actually use for like phones, whatever, right? And usually it's stored, right, in a battery bank system,
Yes.
you know, from very
Yeah.
small solar battery banks that you might have to the large scale where it's like can power like buildings for a while.
Yeah.
Yes, I watch a lot of videos about this stuff. I've been watching a little bit more about it. It's actually quite interesting to see how far we're advancing on that.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
that's still not trickling down to the common man, common women, yeah, kind of deal, right? Where it's
Yeah.
more widely available, right? It's just like solar, right? Let's say 10 years ago, it's different. Now, more people may have it or whatever, right?
Yeah. It's more efficient, much more efficient.
Yeah, they can drive down the cost, which means that more people can get access to it. Instead of
Yeah.
being $1,000, it's just 100.
They had a big push here in Texas where if you were in the right zip code, they would set it all up for you for free. At least that's the ad.
Hmm.
yeah,
They had to have a catch somewhere. But
yeah. They must have a catch somewhere if they
yeah,
put it up for free for you.
yeah, it's just too good to be true.
Oh, it's probably tied into the grid.
Yeah, it is
Oh yeah, it
because
would
Yeah.
be.
Right. Remember,
they
so
don't give it away for free here and put it up
yeah,
for free here in Sweden. They don't. So if somebody would give you and install solar panels for you on your house here for
Yeah,
free, I would be asking, is there a catch somewhere?
it's got to be.
well, I
It has to be.
probably or your utility bill will be smaller. But the thing is, there's no dedicated batteries, so if the grid goes down, you still don't got much
Oh no,
because you don't have the
this
battery
is,
system to draw.
no, it has this battery system and everything.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, at least like I said, that's the way the ad works. Now I
Mm,
haven't checked
okay.
into it myself, but I'm not in a
I mean,
position to do that. I couldn't do it here, but
yeah. I mean, even where I live, I've seen there's solar on the roof.
I
There's this
agree,
one
Bob.
church or community hall that I can go to, and they have solar on the roof.
yeah,
So I mean, that's probably tied into the grid, though. I don't actually think they actually have a local battery backup in that area. You know,
uh, normally if they
so
got solar, they have to go to the battery in order for you to get, and then an inverter in order for you to get
mm,
AC power out of it.
oh, okay.
Because
Like I said, I think, like I said, a generator and stuff like that is probably more advanced preparedness stuff. Generally, in the beginning, it's the food, the water, right? Then
yeah,
Yeah, and if your solar panels produce more energy than you need, you have to sell it.
you have to sell it
yeah,
back to the grid. Yeah,
Yeah, so you get some money for it. So
yeah, because the grid actually has to have a minimal amount of power all the time running through it for
right.
variations in the system. What's that called? Curtailment. See, I'm trying to learn these words. I think it's called curtailment. Basically, like because let's say during the day, during let's say the evening, people are turning on more lights or whatever, turn on stoves, right? There might be more demand, but solar is down because let's say it's raining right now, right? It's dark by 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But people are eating after
Yeah,
that time. So yeah,
yeah,
which means that there needs to be something to buffer it, right? So because right,
yeah, and if you have at least here in Sweden, I don't know how it's in US, but or Canada, but
okay,
uh, if you have larger solar panels, you have than the normal regular sized ones. If you want larger ones, you have to pay some tax for those larger ones.
okay.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know about that here. It might be the case. I don't know.
So then I'm not familiar with.
if I remember it correct,
Yeah,
it was a while ago. I heard about that one a couple of years ago. Um, so, if I remember it correct, you had to pay a tax for when you produce your energy. So, and some energy tax
yeah, they'll find
on
some
your
way to get. They'll find some way to get the money out of you.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's taxed eventually. Somehow, some way, everyone wants their cut,
Yep.
as they say, right? Everything's
Um,
like that now.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that sometimes people don't think about is all these alternative energy sources create DC power. It has to
Oh
be
yeah, yeah.
converted to AC power to use, in your normal systems.
yeah,
Well, it's not just that; it's the transmitter on those high voltage, high long distance lines, right? That's AC.
Well, yeah,
Right.
that's all AC.
Right. So it has to be converted, right? Or
But I mean,
the
even in your house to use because all your appliances and lights and everything there are AC. Now you could convert everything to DC, but that's a very expensive proposition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it is.
And your AC is a better source, a better electrical source. That's the key to that sine wave that they're talking about, a pure
Mm.
Yeah,
sine wave.
yeah, that system had obviously a pure sine wave. So
Right, right. And that's a good selling point because I mean, my degree is in electronics, so I know a little bit about that stuff, but not nearly enough because I've been away from it for too long. But
Well, the technology changes too, right? There's
yeah,
advancements and stuff like that. So,
well, that's why I say I've been away from it too long. I still have understand the concepts, but I don't have the newer technology skills or anything like that.
mhm.
Because man, I've been away from that for I don't even want to say how long. I really never worked in it.
Hmm. So we talked about this kind of middle or large scale, but what about the small scale, right? I know,
Yeah.
because the middle or large scale is more expensive, right? It's just the way it
Well, of
is,
course.
right?
Yeah.
Right. But the small
Yeah.
scale stuff, I'm
Caitlin's
not saying the
absolutely
small,
right, though.
yeah, but what?
sledgehammer to that like button. Thank you, ATJH Paranormal. Good to see you, brother.
I'm thinking about ringing the bell for you at the carnivals, right where where you hit the and try to get the thing to go all the way up to hit the bell. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about that right now. Right.
Been a long time since I tried that.
Yeah, me too. But anyways, I digress from that. I mean, I've been uh reading and watching some videos and stuff like that. Now, there's the newer, I shouldn't say newer, but some of this actually older technology that's just being remapped for nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Because I know we're all talking about solar, wind, hydro. I guess if you're in Greenland, I guess you can throw in geothermal, right? All right. You
Yeah.
could throw in the oils, the LNG, the liquid natural gas. But
Yeah. That's
there
not
is
really all.
actually
That's not alternative though.
no, I know that, but what I'm saying, it is a form of energy, right? Most of
That's
us are
true.
using one way or another, right? One way or
Right.
another, we're using
Right.
these are the main sources, right? But what
Yeah.
I've been learning is that these are potential energy sources that are ways to store energy, like
Right.
different kind of battery or storing energy through. Well, for everyone that knows that, you drop like let's picture it like a seesaw or whatever, right? If if I'm on it and someone on the other side is heavier, it's gonna go down. On the other side,
Right.
I'm gonna go up, right?
Yeah.
So that's work that I can reach up higher, right? Because they're heavier because of gravity, right? Well,
Right.
there is these systems supposedly, probably not here in Canada or in the U.S., probably small scale, where basically they're using like abandoned mines or something that are deep down, let's say kilometers, miles down, and basically they use let's say excess solar energy, excess wind energy to bring that counterweight all the way back up to the top. And basically, when the grid needs that power, it pushes it down. It's using, if that makes any sense. So it's using gravity energy to make that power. And
It
basically,
almost makes sense, but I've never heard of it.
I've heard about this and I've been reading more about this, but because if you think about it, like, what are people doing with these abandoned mines and all that stuff? Well, they're trying to convert it to make power out of it still.
Yeah. Better to use it for something to just leave a hole in the ground.
Yeah, and I mean, this is like kind of new age type of stuff, right? I mean, there's this other stuff I've been reading about on but it's not mainstream yet, right? It's
Yeah.
not really mainstream. Solar, wind, even hydro is all mainstream now, right? But
Right.
everyone knows about that and knows how it works or whatever, right? But these air freeze, it's just like people are like really thinking outside the box a little bit more,
Yeah, they have to.
right? Because I think as as things get electrified, let's say vehicles, e-bikes or whatever, we're going to be drawing more power. We need more power sources or
Right.
potential batteries out there, whatever it is. Even if it's a counterweight that goes all the way out the top and just goes all the way down to get you electricity to drive a turbine or whatever, right? Because
Yeah.
electricity is just something that's like a turbine or a generator that's turning, right? And it gives you that electricity. Oh, hey, now I can power this e-bike. I can use it with my phone or whatever, right? Power the grid or
Yeah.
power some lights and stuff like that. So
Well, it's like you either have hydro that spins the turbine, or you have steam which spins the turbine, or you have gas which spins the turbine. But
yeah,
like you say,
exactly.
yeah, it's all pretty much all comes from a turbine.
Yeah, yeah. The technology is basically a turbine, right? You just have to turn the turbine. There's
Right.
different ways of turning the turbine, right? It's just like dropping a counterweight, and while it's going down, it's spinning the turbine.
Right.
And when you have excess electricity from like solar or wind or something, it raises it back up.
Yeah.
So you have that potential energy back in there, and right. So I mean,
Does sound
I know
interesting.
I'm going into it a little bit more, but this is just stuff I've been reading about, watching videos and stuff like that. I
Well,
found it interesting.
from what I thought, that's what this was about. So
Yeah, so this is why I'm bringing it up,
it's
right? I
nice to
haven't
know
seen it in
information.
real
I never.
world. Well, I
Yeah.
haven't seen this in real life yet. I mean, I've seen videos and stuff like that, or it's still in the theory or small scale, right? There's
Hi,
only one
Mr. It's
facility.
good to see you, ma'am. Good to
Hi,
see you.
Ivy. Nice to see you. I don't know if
Hi,
you heard
Ivy.
about any of this that I'm talking about. I mean, I've been just gradually been learning more about this in the last couple of years.
Right.
What they're trying to do, right? Because I know everyone's familiar with lithium ion type of batteries, lead acid type of batteries, right? But they're even trying to have different type of battery technology that doesn't rely on lithium or lead acid or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
Well, because
I saw a deal on some kind of a show. I don't remember what it was, but it was talking about this new battery, and it was like, I mean, what they showed was a little bigger, but say it was like a dollar bill or something, or a paper currency wherever you're at. Then it was foldable almost. It was flexible. It was very light, and they said that's going to be the new
battery for our
battery
phones, right?
battery
For our phones,
technology.
yeah,
No,
because
for EVs.
well, that too, right? Because the lightness of it is a very beneficial, right?
Right.
The lighter the vehicle, the more range you can get because the lighter it is.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that the batteries that are in cars now are so hot, very heavy, and very
Yeah,
expensive. This other one's going to be much cheaper.
yeah,
Yeah, I heard about that with foldable batteries.
Yeah.
When you mentioned it, I was thinking, well, um, yeah, I heard about it before.
Yeah, I saw it on a TV show or something.
yeah. But this is still kind of in development, or it's not in
Probably.
mass production yet, right? We're
Yeah,
not in this
probably.
kind of mass production of it. So this is probably things you're probably gonna see in the pipelines like the rest of the decade. Especially the way that power issues are going right now, I think people are trying to develop it a little bit sooner. No, they want real examples of it working and stuff like that. Show that it
Right.
works. It's not just a theory. We
And
power
I
the whole.
didn't. Yeah. And unfortunately, I didn't pay enough attention to that about the batteries. It was a real short little deal, but I should have paid attention to it. And
I mean,
you know,
there. Well, remember, I know we're talking about alternative forms of energy, but
right,
one of the forms of energy that we do need is heat, right? Heat is another form of energy, right? It's you know, you consider your stove or whatever. Like even obviously fire is a form of energy too, right? It gives heat and light and all that stuff, right?
right.
But what I've been hearing is they made certain areas, or what I've been hearing about this is like molten salt, that type of power or thermal energy. Basically melting salt and just with slowly using that heat energy for stuff later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
using
hadn't
like
heard about
yeah,
that, but I've heard about,
yeah.
geothermal, but I hadn't heard about using salt.
Well, but salt, look at the periodic table. Lithium and well, it's because salt is usually made with sodium, right? It's on
The
the
different
periodic
sodium.
table. Yeah, it's under the same row. I mean, column, right? So it has very similar characteristics.
Okay.
But salt is much cheaper. Also, salt or
Right.
sodium is going to be much more
Yeah.
cheaper than lithium, right? But obviously,
Absolutely.
it's going to have different characteristics. Uses is different, right? But let's just say you have molten salt that can like stay, let's say 500 degrees Celsius for 24 hours at least. You could be using that to warm up homes instead of per se using electricity, right?
Yeah, or
If that
electric
makes
or
sense.
gas even. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And basically you just kind of daylight comes back, the solar panels have excess power. You use that power to kind of melt that sodium, for example,
Yeah.
or salt, right? So
Right.
and keeping it in a liquid state that way.
Yeah, and there are different
Because there's
types of salt. So
yeah, yeah. Well, because you said about the steam, right? Basically, it's probably just gonna redirect that heat into like well, they might not even use steam anymore. I think they're using this kind of like oil or something like that. Some sort. It's different from water. Basically, it has a lower boiling point, so basically you would get more out of it, and then it just circulates it around, right? It keeps it in the system.
right. Yeah.
Liquid.
Well, how steam works is you got a big boiler and you run the water through pipes inside or tubes inside the boiler, and then the
Mhm.
steam goes to the turbine.
Yeah, it's think of an old school steam locomotive, right? But instead of using
Right.
water, they're considering things that have a lower boiling point than water. That way you get a little bit
Oh,
more
okay.
out of it, right?
Yeah.
Right, right. Well, because water, rest, all that stuff, right? That can occur from that. If they're using like something like an oil or something along the lines of that, you wouldn't get rest, So maintenance might be a little bit easier. It's more efficient, stuff like that.
Kalen says those solar towers in the big solar farms focus reflected sunlight on the tower. That concentrated energy is not in melt the target substance or heats water to generate steam power.
Well, that's why they're going away from using water as the way to generate the steam because of things like rest
So
and stuff like that.
when we talk about steam, so technically you could create electricity with steam.
Yeah.
So technically, when everything is in end up working because of age, uh, because it will end up working
Yeah.
sooner after a certain amount of years. But I was thinking if you can create uh, steam um, steam electrical generator plant, and so you will still have electricity, but it will require. It takes a lot of water.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? And water, because it's water, parts that are prone to rusting, right?
Yep,
That's why
that
they're
too.
they're going towards something else, right? That way they just bypass the whole issues with water, right? And stuff like that.
Yeah,
Rust and stuff like that. Something that has a lower boiling point than water. So it's not, it's not at 212 or 100 Celsius. It's like lower, let's say 160, 60 Celsius, right? So
yeah,
you get a little bit more oomph out of it. And basically, and they keep that circular, so it gets recovered on all the stuff, so it never leaves the system. And
yeah,
that indirectly, like, let's say, powers the generator or the turbines, right? Because if you think about it, it's just you're spinning something, right? You're just
yeah,
spinning something to getting electricity. It's just like hand crank radios, right? Many of us
yeah,
have had that. You generally spin it. Now those ones that you like squeeze, it basically turns something on the inside. I
yeah,
opened one up, right? I mean, there's other things. I'm trying to remember what it's called now. I can't remember what it's called, but and they're in and the Steam thing that
yeah,
actually was a thing very very long time ago. Very 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 long, very 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 long time ago. Except for no one had an application for it. It was just used like, oh, here's a toy that I made with Steam that uses Steam to move, just go around or something like that. It never became anything because no one could apply that power to something, that
yeah.
work, right? So that's why no one, right? Because that existed a long, long, long time ago. It just no one knew the potential from it, right? We're just nowadays we're just kind of rediscovering this kind of potential that certain little things have, right?
Yeah,
Like I said, it's just like the abandoned coal mine shafts or shafts. Right now, they're thinking of like it's dropping a weight in a controlled manner to gain power from that, right? And like I said, raising it back up with solar or wind or whatever when there's excess power, right? Because remember, the grid is like pretty much on demand, right? That's why there's a certain level of maintenance that they have to actually maintain a certain level. Because if it falls below that, there's not enough power, which means that the the output's greater than the input,
yeah,
which means that there's going to be rolling blackouts or a power outage or a brownout, right?
yeah,
Because usually that's what happens, right? If there's not enough power coming in, then you will get a blackout or rolling brownouts, right? Or selected
yeah,
areas, right? I mean, it happened to me here last year. Not last year. I gotta stop saying last year. It's January. I keep forgetting. It's 2023. I gotta
yeah,
remember 2021, right? And 2021 was also the same year in Texas, right? And then there's in history too, right? 03, 03, there was that the great blackout on the East Coast, right?
yeah,
I don't remember that much, but I mean, I heard about it, been reading more about it and stuff like that. That was because there wasn't enough power and it started to drain from other places. Then those systems went down, and basically it kind of the domino effect, right? And then next thing you know, that whole sector is out.
yeah. CR Kaylin asked you a question. Are you referring to a dynamo that is part of the
Yeah,
heavy power device?
Dynamo, yeah, stuff like that. A dynamo, generator, so to speak, and a turbine. Like I said, it's spinning.
Yeah. Good
It's spinning.
evening, RG Arizona Homestead. Good to see you, my friend.
IRG. Right. So that's why I've been reconsidering a lot. It's just a lot of things. I just like how, you know, trying to diversify a little bit more. If you got solar or wind or whatever, it's all good for you, right?
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to diversify, so more options, right? More options, right? I think this is what we need. We need more ways to store the power and develop
Yeah.
the power. Because we can, solar is great and all, but if let's just
But
say,
if you
hey,
don't have the sunlight, they are
well,
useless.
it's not just that, Shadow. It's just that the demand, right?
Yeah.
Solar's nice during the day. Oh, it's hot out or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Well, at nighttime, what do you got, right? But let's just say it's fall, spring. You're getting quite a bit of sunlight still, but it's not as hot, so people are not using AC at that time. Demand's not as high, but you're generating more input. Like still, like you still have that same amount of
Yeah.
input. You need to store it, or else it's just being wasted, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, because I think we need, as a society, or as people everywhere here, like everywhere, right? We need to up our game on the battery and the storage of the power and development or the generating the power. That way, we have, well, it's just like having a backup or a UPS, uninterrupted power supply,
Yeah.
stuff like that, right? So that's why I've been like, looking up on this a little bit more. It's very interesting, actually. Very technical at times. It is interesting to see this kind of technology either get reinvented or get more developed
Yeah.
in time, right? Especially, like I said, if we're going to go towards electric vehicles or whatever, right? Well, we're going to need more power generation or ways to generate the power and ways to store that power. So, hey, at nighttime I can still charge that electric vehicle just as well or just as good as during the day. And stuff like that. So
Solar has its ups and downs, and if you're off grid, it's stored in your batteries. But like us here in northern Arizona, we had 10 days of no sun. It's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
yeah, this is what I've been reconsidering. It's just like complementary, right? Complementary item. Oh yes, with a CRNA, right? But it's
Hey,
like if
Warren,
you
RCG, good to see you, brother.
hey, Maury, you see what I mean, Shadow?
Yeah.
Chat, complementary stuff, right? Things that go well together, right? That way, hopefully, if one's not doing so well, the other one can, right? For example, right? Because it's just like more options, diversifying and stuff like that, right? Not just it's just like that saying that the bushcrafting or survival community said, one is none and two is one, right? Well, you can
Yeah.
apply that to power too, right? You know, one could be the solar, two could be the wind, right? And three could be water or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
agree.
stuff like that. One of these days, I'm gonna like make a bicycle thing. One of these days, I'm gonna start doing that. I gotta learn more about it. I can understand it. It's more the technical stuff, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can, I know you spin magnet around some copper coils. Yeah, you generate electricity, but to actually regulate the power, store the power, and
Yeah.
actually put that power to work, right? That energy to work for me to charge like a laptop or phone. That's different, right? Because then it has to be precisely set, right? Because you want to be able to regulate that power, right? So
Yeah.
because I think this is why they use battery banks and they use batteries to store solar power. It's because differences between hey, it's just clouded over. There's a cloud flowing over the solar panels, right? The battery kind of regulates it, so it's kind of more even. Let's just say instead of getting that fluctuations that you might get with solar or wind, right? Because solar and wind, the wind slows down, the sun goes behind the cloud or whatever, right? Versus a
Yeah.
battery that could regulate that power to, like, say, 12 volts or whatever more consistently.
Yeah, and RG says again, wind has its ups and downs. No wind and no power, and the cost to get a good wind generator is not cheap. Yeah, I agree. It's really expensive if you are going to get a good one because you
Mhm.
need a good one.
And I would say hi to
LA
LA Prepper
Prepper, good to see you, buddy. How are you doing?
and B Savage.
And B Savage, good to see
Hello,
you,
both of you.
ma'am.
What's up?
How are
So
you
yeah.
doing, guys? And thanks for hanging on. I appreciate that.
hmm
If you need a good wind generator, yeah, it's not enough with $500 or $1,000. Uh,
Yeah,
I think you will get up more like
yeah,
maybe 25, 30, maybe 25 to $50,000 or more.
yeah. Solar is a lot cheaper than wind. I mean, the prices are going down, but I mean, it's not like it's hey, I can just go over here and get it for $100 or whatever.
Yeah,
Right? It's a little bit more than that still, right?
yeah, exactly.
So as the
Uh,
technology advances, improves, and all that stuff, mass production, then the price will go down until like
LA Prepper says I was doing foundation repair. Okay. Then I had birria tacos and now I'm chilling.
mm, I
That's
had a
good.
taco. I was eating a taco yesterday. That was good. For once, I'm not talking about food. Yes.
RG says I am going to guess that CR has not been off grid
Well,
for
I didn't. Why?
a
Like I
time.
said, I
Try living off
no,
grid
I didn't
for
say.
6 months.
I've just been learning about it. See, I think power would be more. It's not just off grid, but it's more advanced, right? In terms of preparedness part, right? I would assume because it's more technical, right? It's not as maybe as easy as putting water in a container to store water or putting a seed in the ground, right? It's more technical, and there's could be
Uh,
issues that arise from power too, right?
yeah.
You know, I don't want to burn out the solar panels or what do I troubleshooting, right? It's just like, oh, why is my battery not charging or whatever, right? I know about this in the smaller scale, but not in a larger scale. So yeah,
G- where a homestead in the desert makes lots of wind power. Okay.
that's why I have respect for people that actually do it, right? And hoping one of these days I can learn more about it, stuff like that. See, one, I mean, one of these videos I showed back in 2017 when I was ice fishing, we actually had a little solar panel with lights for the inside, right? Wood
Yeah.
stove, right? So, you know, we were out there for like 7 days, 10 days, give or take. So, I mean, but I still consider that small scale, right? Not, middle scale would be like, or larger scale, like house, a full size building, right? Real, actual appliances.
Hey, Nene.
Hi, Nene. So,
You have to understand it's not that hard to learn solar, but you have to take the step forward and building one and just try to live off it for 6 months. You will have a better understanding. Yeah.
well, yeah, it's experience, right? It's just like, you can watch all the videos about gardening or read books or whatever forums about it, but you can actually do it. Get your hands in the dirt, you know. Or in this case, get my hands tanned in the sun.
Yeah, Prepperness One, he had a good setup with his solar panels.
hmm
Yeah, he generated pretty good, actually. But as he said, some days he generated more power and some days less. So that's understandable.
Yeah, because you always, hopefully, your input would always be more than your output. I mean, your output, you know what I mean, where you're drawing in more power than you're using.
Yeah,
Hopefully, it would be like that, or else you would have to ration or use less and stuff like that, right? Well, I don't know about you, Shadow, specifically with your area. I've heard this from since Kate was still in here from like Willie and some other because she was in Austria about about the power things going on, right? Because there's no natural gas going to Europe or whatever, right? Or
yeah, I
fuel, it's
agree. I agree, Kalen. He had to make some adjustments to his panels and placements and angle.
so you know.
He
I'm really glad
brought
you
me.
decided to do this topic, Shadow. Oh, it's
Yeah,
so bad.
actually, I didn't had any. So actually, it was my wife and my or friend who come up with it. So here we are.
Yeah, I know if Gil was still in here, he'd jump in.
Yeah, he was
He
here for
scheduled. Yeah. He already had a scheduled live stream. So yeah, just the way it is. Because I know you know some information too, right, and stuff like that. A lot more than I do. You know, more. Yeah, but RG, it would be nice to actually have the equipment too, right? It goes back to like trying to learn something through watching a video or just reading about it. Actually, hands-on experience would be nice too. I'm not saying watching a video is not bad, not good or whatever, but it would be nice to have actual hands-on experience where I can physically touch it and see for myself. You, I mean,
yeah, Gil's on his own stream with his weight loss challenge he's putting together.
yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Like I said, I'm only doing this stuff like in small scale, so
Yeah,
things I can hold in my hands, kind of deal, right? Nowhere near grid scale. That's for sure. Not quite there. That's for sure. I mean, there's cost, the time, and obviously the effort of learning about it and doing it right the first time, right?
yeah,
But because I think like I said, I think that kind of stuff would be more advanced in terms of preparedness.
yeah,
Because ideally, you probably need the water and the food first, for the most part. For the most part, right? Well, and appliances in the first place, like a fridge or whatever, right? In the first place, right? Or the lights themselves, right? You still need the lights themselves, right? Can't power it. You can have all this power, but you got nothing to power them, or put because you got to put that power to work somehow, right?
yeah,
I figure, I mean, I know Thor was showing that little unit right there. I got something similar to that, right? I mean, like, stuff like that. So I'm advancing into it a little bit more, but I'm like, oh, there's lots to learn. I want to get some more, not just gain more knowledge, but hopefully some more EXP, some more experience with it, hands-on experience, right? Talk to people, and stuff like that. Try to learn a little bit more, right? It's like, oh, computer sine wave. Okay, the technical stuff, right?
yeah,
Because if I ask some of my friends to be like, "What are you talking about, Sia?" Right? So I gotta actually find some people that I actually know the terminology too, stuff like that. Or maybe I can see like an actual example of it, right, and be like, where I can ask questions and be like, oh, so it makes sense in my head.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, RG. See, this is why I'm starting on a small scale first, trying to understand it, right? Understand it through a small scale.
Yeah,
Like
you
even
could always
well,
begin in a
experiments.
small scale.
Well, experiments. I mean, like that famous show that used to be on Discovery Channel and all this other stuff. A lot of the times they start in a small scale, right? Get the sense, get the idea, right? See, learn from a small scale, right? Just in case you see it in a big scale, you'll be like, oh, this is what, oh, right. And gain some confidence too, right?
MPPT charge controller. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the charge controller. Yeah. Like I actually came close to dropping in for it a little bit more, but I chose to buy food over it first and a few other things first at that time. But you know, you know, the charge
Yeah.
controller, the solar panel, and the battery, right? But I was just like, I need to learn more before I
Yeah.
start dropping some dough onto it without learning about it, right? So
Yeah, and that power station I ordered, it has MPPT technology to
which I'm not familiar
give
with.
to give you maximal charging efficiency.
Hmm.
So that's good.
Okay.
So that's
Okay,
really
so we
good.
talked about this kind of large scale, grid scale type, right? But for the rest of us that are not there yet, or just beginning,
Well,
right?
for me, well, with
This
this
is more
solar,
advanced. Yeah, this is gonna be a
yeah,
more advanced thing for you now, right? You're starting
yeah,
to get into a more advanced type of preparedness, right? The average person may not have that, right? So they wouldn't have much, you know. It's like you live in an apartment. You might be like one of very few that even have something like that, for example, right?
yeah,
So, or you're the only one in your family that, or whatever, coworker or whatever has one, right? So it's hard to talk to other people about it, right? Because they don't have it, so they don't have experience with it.
yeah,
So you got to talk to people online, like here on YouTube or in the forums, and try to find out more about stuff, right? Because it's foreign, right? It's foreign to me too, right? So I can get some of the concepts, but it's just like, oh, this is what this means. This is what it means, and this is why you need this or whatever, right? Because
yeah,
I don't want to I don't want to cut too many corners on it, like literally, right? Because it could be, I don't want to, fry the fridge or, or, or whatever, right? That's probably the last thing I need, right? You know, hmm. Geez, we need RG to come up here. If it wasn't Gil, we could get RG up here. I know there's some other channels out there, right? Oh, you guys definitely have a little bit more knowledge and experience with that than I do. That's for sure. But yeah. Hmm.
yeah. Uh, there are two major system: grid tie and off-grid. The difference is you sell back to the electric company, and the other is for you. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
yeah. We have the same thing here in Sweden.
Hmm.
So if you produce more than you use, you have to sell it.
Yeah. Or else it's just waste, right? Solar power that's not going anywhere is just sitting there, right?
I can build a system for under $200 for a small system. That, that's
US.
yeah.
Yeah, let's remember that RG conversion too. And access to materials.
I
And
think
such.
that would be a little bit more in Canadian dollars.
Yeah, just a little bit more, right? So that's why I'm just like, I do appreciate RG. I think Shadow Hero also and the rest of the side chat appreciates your dropping down some things, some
Hey
information.
RG, good to see you, brother.
How you doing,
Oh, okay. What's up, man?
Swede? CR, you asked me to come up, so I thought, okay,
Oh,
let
no,
me come.
well, I was being sarcastic. I did, but
Well,
welcome,
it's nice
welcome.
to have your own panel for a change, RG. So
Yeah.
CR, I build you a system for $200, and you can run
US.
a refrigerator and a TV.
How many? What would be the power output?
Okay, you start out with 300-watt panels.
Okay.
Okay, two 12-volt batteries,
Okay.
a charge controller,
Yep.
and an inverter.
Yeah, because the current charge controller basically prevents the battery from going back to the solar panel, right? So it
Basically,
goes one way, one direction, right?
two-way strip. It goes from your solar panels to your batteries, and make sure
Yeah.
that your power is going there and not flowing back into the panel. You have to
Yeah, so
understand
it's one directional.
diode in there to keep it from doing that.
Yeah, it's what's that word? Like a rectifier, right? So it goes one direction only.
Not a rectifier, it's a diode.
Okay, hey, I'm trying to remember the terminology. Give me some credit.
It's a valve that only lets electricity go one way, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. And all you
Yeah.
have to add to that is some fuses to make sure that if something should go bad, you can shut your batteries off from your solar charge controller and your inverter.
Yeah.
Because what the batteries do is just a storage facility. The inverter,
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
okay, the inverter converts it from 12 volt to 110 volt.
Okay.
After you do that, you can run a refrigerator and a TV with no problem at all.
Okay.
that's awesome.
Or I
My
can
system,
charge up that battery bank. Yes.
my system that I have here is a lot more advanced than that. That's just a very basic kind of a high school project to
Oh, okay.
to make that system. My system is a lot more advanced than that because I'm totally off grid, and so I run my TV, refrigerator, uh, Starlink, all my electricity that I have in the house for lights and whatnot. So my system has to be just a tad bit different, but it's all basically the same.
Mhm. Well, yeah, because it's the foundation, right? It's just like a building or anything. You got to start with a foundation built on it.
Yeah, if you take and build a small system, just say you got an outbuilding someplace, and you want lights in it. Build yourself a small system, 100-watt solar panel from. I don't know if you're in the States here, CR, but
I thought that Canadian flag, maple leaf on my icon would show.
oh, okay, well I didn't notice that.
I'm just kidding.
You're in that foreign country called Canada, I think. But okay, you have like the equivalent of Harbor Freight up there in Canada.
Something along the lines of that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay, something very similar to that. You can get a 100-watt panel, one 12-volt battery, a small MPPT charge controller, let's say 400-watt inverter, and you could power that outbuilding with no problem whatsoever.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I'm just trying to follow along.
That's how you start your system. You start out basic. I mean, I started out in solar on a sailboat 30 years ago, damn near 40 years ago now. And, you know, I had two 15 panels. So, you know, you build on the system and you keep building and keep building. And the next thing you know, you can run your entire house. And you're going like, oh, this is really basically stupid to me.
Yeah, you just it's more elaborate.
All you're doing is
You know, it's a bunch of simple.
you're upgrading your charge controllers, your FPTs, your inverters, things like that. And then you can do it. And now, if you really want to get crazy, you can go to lithium batteries and like
No, yeah, exactly. You're right. Then you
$1,000
start, yeah.
system. I mean, but if you just want to try something small, simple, and easy, I mean, I run my workshop off my solar. I run my garage off solar, and I run my house off solar. And they're three separate systems.
I see Kaylin seems to know some Canadian things a little bit more than I give her credit for. Too. You're so
really
smart, Kaylin.
It's not that hard. It's kind of actually, once you get started, it's like any other activity you do in life. You know, what kind of hobby you get into, you just keep learning, and you just keep going, and then it becomes kind of like it's fun.
It becomes more, yeah, because you start to understand it. You can rationalize it and stuff like that. It's just like gardening, editing, driving, stuff like that, right? You get better as you do it more.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you as a child you learn to walk, and then you find out you can run, and you find out you can ride a bicycle, then you can find out that you can ride a motorcycle, then you can find out that you can sail a boat, then you can find out you can drive a plane. I mean, you know, infinite. It goes on.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like starting is the hard part, right? It's just like a bicycle, right? Starting is actually the hard part. It's easy to maintain that.
That's called an excuse. Okay. Everybody has an excuse for not doing something in life. If you don't take the chance and take your foot forward, you're never going to learn anything.
Hey, Ark Wildman, good to see you, brother.
Hey, Arik, how are you doing? Nice to see you again. Arik.
Hey, Scott, how's things over there in your country these days? Is it they still going crazy on off-grid people?
Assuming he's talking to you, Shadow, I think.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Hey, Shadow. It's all right, Shadow.
That's why I'm the co-host.
Yeah, he talked about they were having issues there in Sweden about off-grid. I was wondering if it's still the same as it is now.
It's not many here in Sweden who are off-grid, actually, but it's only a few who really are off-grid. But I live in an apartment, so it's really hard to get off-grid.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to do it in an apartment. Yeah.
Yeah. I know a lady, she had built a small house on the chassis was basically a trailer.
Yeah.
She built a small house and she ran that on with solar panels, and she had everything she needed on it. So that was really nice.
Yeah, my best friend in life came from Sweden. We went through Boy Scouting together, and he was born in the United States, but his parents were from Sweden.
What's the name of the guy?
John Helson.
Okay.
Yeah, he had two other brothers, but his father and mother they became nationalized citizens here in the United States. They passed away many years ago. But yeah, he and I grew up together, and We used to talk about Sweden all the time when we were kids, because I had no idea about Sweden when I was 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, that's pretty fascinating. And I mean, when people hear I'm from Sweden, huh? Sweden, it seems people never heard of it before.
Well, I got lucky when I went in the military because I was in your country and I got to train with your military oh so many years ago.
Yeah,
And I enjoyed Sweden. It was a beautiful country. I loved it there. I loved Germany, France, Italy. I loved the entire European area back in those days, but we're talking many, many years ago.
yeah, probably 30, 40 years ago.
Let's not put numbers on it, okay?
Okay. Well, you're still young.
Oh, I'm only seven. I'm only 7 years old. You have to add decades to that, but that's beside the point.
Exactly. Uh,
You got to take a step forward, jump out there. You know, buy. You can buy an MPPT charge controller for like $40, $50. You can buy, a cheap inverter off of Harbor Freight, the equivalent there in Canada, and a 100-watt solar panel and a 12-volt battery for a car, even.
yeah.
And start from there. It's not that hard. Once you get started, you kind of like, oh, this is kind of fun.
Uh, Kaylin says, I'm in a north facing apartment. Even harder to use solar panels.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to have a south-facing area. I've got 20 acres of land, and so not really a problem finding a south-facing area. I live completely off grid. I
Yeah.
run things totally off grid. I've got my battery bank, I've got my inverters, my charge controllers, and I have like three different systems that I run at the same time.
That is a good setup.
My freezer right now is running right now off of one solar system. My garage is working off a completely different system. Then the house is completely off a different system.
Yeah.
But it's fun,
Yeah,
It's,
it's fun.
the cloudy days, you use a generator to fill back when the sun's not here. Because
Yeah.
wind generators are not that efficient, and hydro generators, unless you have a stream that's running 5 miles an hour or more, is really a waste of time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And then when you're like me, if I've got 10 days of non-sun, okay, then I adjust my living style accordingly and makes my life no different than anybody else's.
Yeah. You
Oh yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
to
Because your
adjust
output,
after.
so you have to adjust the input because your output's not as much.
Right. Well, see, I backfill the non-days with a generator, so I still keep my batteries up, and I still be able to run all the things that you run in your place with no problem whatsoever.
That's awesome. Uh,
Anyhow, I just kind of wanted to help UCR to get started because excuses are nothing more than just that.
well, you get a
Well, I'm
point
glad.
there, RG.
Well, I'm glad excuse doesn't have CR in it.
Well, that's true, but
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I knew
No.
about this, like the charge controller, like off-rate battery, power in, off-rate, and all that stuff, right? Storage,
The
a way to
biggest-
regulate the power.
the biggest thing a lot of people forget is putting in fuses, and they're not that expensive. You can buy 15 amp fuse for nothing at a local auto store, and put it in line with your system. And it always goes on your positive line, never on your negative, but on your positive line. And that's the biggest mistake most people make is they don't put a fuse in the system. And it's not that hard. It really is not that hard. If you can drive, if you can work on your car, you can build a solar system. I mean, I've seen guys.
Oh, back.
Welcome back, Leonard.
Welcome back.
Leonard's back. I was wondering where he was because I've been seeing his picture up where he wasn't talking.
Well, I'm back now.
Yeah.
This evening, Leonard.
You know, I had to slide away to eat my dinner.
Oh, well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, you have to eat something too.
Yeah.
Novel concept. I think it might.
So, what did you have for dinner?
I'm sorry?
What did you have for dinner?
Ground beef and eggs.
Well, that works.
Interesting.
Yep. Well, not for you, though. You're a vegetarian.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Not
You
me.
might want to you might want to rethink that.
Actually, I don't miss meat at all.
You don't what?
I don't miss meat.
I have to agree with Leonard. I'd die without it.
I agree. It's the most nutrient dense food there is.
Yes, I agree with it.
And the nutrients are more readily available for your body.
I agree with that because I'm not a rabbit.
That's right.
Yeah, but there's also things that you can't get from meat, though.
What's that?
There's also things that you can't get from meat that you still need, though.
Name one.
Fiber.
You don't need fiber.
Well, some of us do. Some
really-
of us. I mean, not saying anyone personally, but I'm just saying some of us could use a little bit more fiber.
Well, no, because all you have to do is eat a higher percentage of fat.
Yeah.
I've been on a carnivore diet for about 9 months, and I haven't missed a restroom break yet. So fiber is absolutely not required, and there are even studies that show that.
I've only done it for like almost 70 years on a carnivore diet. And
I'm an omnivore.
Well, if it works for you and you feel your optimum best, then go for it.
there you go. That's the easiest answer. That's the easiest.
Hey, I like carrots too.
I like a lot of vegetables, but I just don't eat them.
I'll eat my
I
bed.
like my.
You don't have to go even completely carnivore. You could just go a high fat
Omnivore.
keto diet.
I'm an omnivore.
All right, guys. Well, you guys have a blessed night. You guys have a great day.
What's that?
You guys have a blessed day. I'm gotta go make my
You
dinner
taking
now.
off, RJ? RJ,
Yeah, I
I'm
got
sorry.
my dinner now.
Okay,
Take care,
well, have a
RJ.
good
All right, guys.
Take care.
Goodbye.
one. Bye.
Okay, take care.
Yep.
How do I get out?
Probably the X. The X. The
Yeah.
red.
Yeah, it's orange on mine, but who knows?
Yeah, it's the red X.
Yeah, down at the bottom it says leave studio.
Yeah.
I think it's in the process. It's now the screen's
Yeah.
frozen.
That might be.
Well, anyways, it
Well,
was nice RG to drop in and give some experience and some knowledge. Drop some knowledge in.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a great. A great guy with great knowledge. He knows more about solar panels than I do.
Well, then we do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know anything anymore.
Like I said, I know the principles. I mean,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah, that's about it
these
for me too.
technical. Yeah, it's more technical, right? It's just like, oh, this is why you need this, right? Stuff
Yeah,
like that. So I guess since we've been talking about, like I said, we talked about that kind of like the larger scale, right? Grid scale and stuff like that. But I still think, you know, people starting off would probably start with a small scale or a smaller scale, right? Of power stuff, right? I'm talking
yeah,
about
that
like the
is a
battery
good idea.
banks,
Yeah,
well, like the battery banks, let's just say something to, you know, um, boost their vehicle in the winter, right? Something like that, because
yeah,
they're probably gonna be right and stuff like that. And besides, if you're off grid, that's at home. What happens if you gotta go into the office? You gotta go into town, visit people, right? Well, you're away from that stuff, so to
yeah,
speak, right? So, you know, and then what, right? So, this is what, I mean, I've had battery banks for a long time now, for a while
yeah.
actually now.
yeah.
I mean, my first one,
CR, I need to go to take a bathroom break. I'll be back.
Oh,
Keep the
you could
stream going.
okay.
like, oh, here we go. Okay, minute, right? All right, everyone, look at the time. Let's see how which time bomb
Yeah,
getting up. Okay, all right.
he said a
He has
while. He
to.
didn't say a minute, so he gave
Oh, okay.
himself a little edge this time.
Well, like I said, I've had my first battery bank I had was back in like '09.
Oh wow.
I was
Okay.
like I've had
Do
a
you have
like
solar at all?
no. I'm talking about a bank,
Yeah.
specifically a battery bank. Because
Okay.
basically because it was for the practical use of recharging a phone. That's why I actually had it in the first place, right?
Okay.
Because right, but that's why I've been trying to get more advanced away, not just doing that, right? But
Yeah.
like powering other things, right? Not just a phone or
Right.
technology like that, right? You know, where
Yeah.
it's like going towards like a fridge, something like that, right?
Yeah.
A little bit more advanced. I mean, back. Oh wow, it's been so long. Like the technology has definitely advanced since then.
Oh yeah. So much that I'd have to start over learning about it.
I mean, you know, the principles or the basics, so you can, you know, skip a couple of chapters. But eventually, you'll be like, "Oh wait, I don't know this chapter. I got to read this."
But there's 75 chapters in that book.
Well, you can start on 3. You
Yeah.
probably know the first 2 chapters.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back. I
Yeah.
can
Or
tell.
stumble through it. Yeah.
I I know. I hear that. I'm starting to get familiar with the sounds I hear. Yeah,
Ah, yeah.
see,
That
I'm
must
starting
have
to
been his.
understand that creaking.
That must have been
Creak.
his CR door.
I know. I can tell now. See, Shadow, I've been here so long with you so many times on the stream. I know that creaking sound.
Okay.
I'm just saying, right? When you start to be with people for a while, you start to understand certain little things, right? It's just like, oh yeah, there's that creaking sound that
Yep.
door makes.
Yeah.
Oh, there, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, there's CR showing the snow again.
Yep.
Yeah, Shadow, like I
Yeah,
said,
we have.
yeah,
Yeah, we have a lot of snow now.
Oh,
I was gonna
okay.
say, Shadow, I was saying to Leonard, my first battery bank was back in '09. It was like 3,000 milliamps. Hey, that was quite big for that time of year.
Well, for not being hooked up to some kind of an energy source, yeah.
Right? And of course, speak of energy source, my Bluetooth is dying on me. Speak of that too. So I could top it off.
Better plug that into your. Better plug that into your battery bank.
Yeah. Well, it's always good to have backup.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you guys can hear me,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, we
I gotta
can.
use the built-in mic on the phone. I gotta use the phone again. So
Yeah, no problem.
No, we'll forgive you this once.
I've been here so long.
Indeed.
Shadow, how long are you planning to go for? I knew you'd use that word. You can't go with a stream without that word. Indeed.
I know. Well, it's
He never.
good word.
Oh, see, he always says that too. I was going to say, how long are you planning to go for? Well, I know you started a little bit later than your usual time.
Yeah. Maybe 3.5 hours.
Oh, okay. So about another hour or so, give or take.
Yeah, 3.5 hours. I plan to, because I stopped begin later, so I I cut it down to 3.5 hours today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And this is more technical of a conversation, right? Well, it is, right? It's more technology based, I'll say, because we're talking about
Yeah.
electrical and power and stuff.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
It's not. We're not just talking about food and water. Probably talk
Right.
about for a while. So, might go so far.
Yeah, but it's good information.
Yeah. I mean, like, like I said, I don't have like great experience, like I said. I mean, like, but you start going bumps and years. That's different, right? You
Yeah.
have way more experience, right?
Yeah.
Because you've seen like a whole season, right? Not just the summertime out camping. No, you've seen fall, winter, spring, and back to summer again. Where you actually had to ration because you had 10 days of cloud. You're not getting fuel for that generator till the next day. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking about pedal generators, these these can uh, generate some pretty. This one can generate 50 and 100 watts.
Yeah, but how long can you maintain that?
Yeah,
That's the thing, right? Yeah,
yeah,
wind,
but it's
solar, and all that stuff is all, you don't have to
well,
put the work into it.
yeah, you have to do your exercise for a certain amount of time, but
If you had multiple family members, yeah, I guess that's one thing
yeah,
or whatever, right? You switch off every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, right? And just kind of go from there, right? Because I wonder if you can actually set this up so it's like you can join them in series. So if one stops, someone else just picks it up without stopping the
I don't
charge
know,
section.
but
You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
know, but yeah, I know
You
what
know
you
what I
mean,
mean?
but
Yeah.
it would work, but it technically it should work pretty good if you could
Because
do that.
yeah, because people probably can only pedal so much, right, for so long
Right.
before you will, right. Eventually, you will get exhausted or just get tired of it. And remember when you start adding resistance in, actually like putting power into something, you feel the resistance.
Yeah, you'd think so.
You should feel the resistance because because I've tried this before with those hand crank stuff. If there's no load on it or battery, it's really easy. As soon as you put the battery in, there's a load.
Yep.
You get resistance, which is what you're supposed to get, right? You're supposed to get a little bit of resistance because you're charging, you're pushing power into it.
Right. You're turning something. Yeah.
Yeah, you're actually doing something with it, right? That's the work, right? The resistance is the work, right? That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so
Yeah,
because
but
like I said, I
it's
have small scale stuff, but
yeah. But anyway, it's an interesting system. You can use your pedal as generator, and
I think if I was gonna go about that, right, I would want one with gears.
yeah,
Or it feels like I would want one with gears. Something I can sit comfortably, right?
Oh yeah.
Right? Something that, two people can use, right? So I can switch off and be like, I'm taking a 2 minute break. Okay, see ya, right? And just, that way you can keep, let's say, topping off a battery bank, right? Let's say,
yeah,
oh yeah, battery bank. Let's talk about battery banks, right? For anyone that has battery banks, right? The larger the capacity of the battery bank, it takes longer to actually top it off, right? Because you have more
Well, of course.
capacity.
Yeah.
You have more capacity, right? So if you were trying to use that or hand crank a battery bank, it'll take you a very long time. Can you actually maintain it charging up a battery bank? Yeah, you could do it if you had to, right? But not just hours, but like
I don't think it'd
6
be
hours,
very
six
fun.
6 hours. Imagine pedaling for 6 hours just to top off a battery bank. Whew, that'd be very
Yeah.
exhausting after a while. But if you had multiple people wait so you could take a break for a little bit, like let's say half an hour, and then you jump back into it, it just keeps going that cycle, and then you probably could do it, right? Let's say you
Yeah.
get a
Probably.
family of four, right? You just switch off, right? Switch off, right? Where no
yeah,
one gets too tired, right? And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, you be surprised some people that actually don't have a battery bank. I mean, like I said, I had one back in '09, right? I could understand back then, but I mean, like nowadays, it's a little bit. People have their smartphones a little bit more now, amongst better tech that uses stuff like that can use power like that too, right? And you hear people, oh, my battery's almost dead, or I gotta charge my phone or whatever, right? So
yeah,
I've
Well,
been
now they got
recon.
those. Yeah. Now they got the fast chargers, so you can charge them up completely in about 20 minutes.
Well, it's still
that's
20 minutes.
fast.
Yeah, but it's still 20 minutes, though, right?
Right. Right.
Right. It's not instantaneous. Yeah, we're not at that.
No.
Oh, 1 second, 1 second. All right, it's still time, right?
Well,
20
fully
minutes.
charged on 20 minutes. 20 minutes, it's really good. You don't need to
Yeah,
wait
it's really
for
good.
1.5 hours to
Yeah, right.
Right.
I
have it
mean,
Right.
fully
I'll say it's
charged.
less. Yeah, but if you're rushing out and you're gonna leave in 5 minutes, that's not that fast. I'm just saying,
No,
right? People,
but you got enough.
no,
But you got enough battery to get home with.
yeah. Hopefully, you got enough
Yeah,
to
that's
maintain it.
true.
No, because I've been thinking like these battery banks, right? They're a way. Let's say you gotta rush out and your battery on your phone's not charged all the way. If you got a battery bank, now you got portable power, right? You're not in
Right.
a vehicle. Let's say not in a truck, car, or whatever, so you don't have access to that. Let's say I know Kaylin's still here, right? Yeah, or anyone that takes public transportation or bus, train, or whatever. I know some of these vehicles now do actually have power on them, but it wasn't always the case, right? This is actually why I had a battery bank. It's because, let's say, if I had to do something like that, now I have portable power on me that, hey, I can keep talking to someone, make that emergency call if I had to, and stuff like that, and top off my battery and stuff like that. Because I
Yeah.
tried to hand crank something before. Oh my gosh, that was very, very long time. Very, very long time. Right?
Yeah.
Hand cranking or pedaling is much, much harder and much, much slower than you think. I mean, if that's all you got or you got the time, yeah, but it's it's one of those things, right? Like those crank flashlights or crank radios, I think it's better. For putting out power to your phone would be a backup option, right? It'd be slow. You'll get an emergency call, right? But you're not gonna be able to like talk very long. Especially if your battery's down really, really low.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because it's gonna take quite a bit of cranking to just get 1% and all that stuff.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that too, Kaylin. Well, it's not just that, Kaylin. It's like, so what happens if everyone's using it? Let's say there's two USB plugins on this bus, train, whatever, right? Everyone's using it, then what? You're out of luck, right? First come, first serve, right? Kind
Yeah.
of deal, right? And if you think about it, let's say if you're homeless or something like that and manage to get in there or whatever, right? You'd probably be topping off your phone all the way. You know what I mean? You'd be topping it off all the way back up, right?
Yeah.
Because, and stuff like
Well,
that. Because even
they've got the what are they, power blocks that you can get that are about the same size as the phone.
yeah, exactly, right.
And those, you use those to finish up whatever you have to do before your battery runs clear down.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not even factoring in the cold part, right? I mean, like
Right.
the cold part of the equation of it, right? Batteries tend to go down faster when it's colder out and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that on my phone. If it's cold out and you have to take a phone call or something,
Yeah.
well, the battery drops pretty quick.
I hadn't noticed that, but then I'm in Houston. It doesn't normally get that cold, so
We have negative at the winter time here, so
yeah.
-10, -15, -20, 25. So that's drains the battery pretty quick.
Yep. I know I spent some time in southwestern Wyoming in the winter, and that was real hard on batteries, car batteries.
Uh,
Nobody had cell phones back then, but
yeah,
it was so
Oh,
cold
you
that my
should.
truck, I hit the key on my
Yeah.
truck,
yeah,
and you could hear it turning over one piston at a time. Darn
yeah.
thing still started.
In that case, that is cold.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was about 60 below Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cold. I would say.
Yeah.
What is it in
All
Celsius
right.
here?
I mean,
I
well,
don't
mine's
know.
40 is the same. So, I mean, but regardless,
Yeah.
it's still cold. That's still extremely
it's
cold,
still
right? Real
Yeah,
extremely cold.
and there in
Not just
Wyoming,
cold,
the wind
extremely
blew.
cold.
Yeah, the wind blew between 30 and 50 miles an hour all the time. So you got that
So the
wind chill on
windchill's
top
high.
of it.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord,
Yeah.
that makes everything worse.
Yep.
Yeah,
would
because
get so
windshield just
cold.
blows heat off.
It would get so cold that the guys on the radio would say, "Well, we just stay home. We're not going to tell you what the wind chill is because it was so
The temperature
cold."
will be very cold, extremely cold.
Yep.
I could tell you a number, but it all means the same now.
Yeah.
It's just cold. Right? See, here in Canada, I'm always thinking to myself, okay, there's winter, then there's Canadian cold, then it's really freaking cold outside. Right?
Yeah. Whereabouts in Canada are you?
Out west.
That's kind of a big area.
Well, that's why it gets cold out west.
Right.
That's because it's
Well,
a big area.
yeah, I know, but it doesn't really narrow you down to anywhere. You in Alberta? I guess he's not gonna tell me.
Oh, 1 degree Celsius. Well, no. Well, that's not that bad. That's warm for me.
Yeah, that's like 30 degrees Fahrenheit.
-1.
Yeah,
I'm
No,
outside. I'm
plus
outside.
one.
I'm outside. Oh,
it's a little
well,
colder than that, but not much.
33 Fahrenheit. I mean, that's how it is
No,
like
no, no,
outside for me right now.
no. It's probably around 27, 28 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, yeah. So it is
I don't
freezing
remember the
probably
conversion off the top of my
-3,
head.
-4, -3, -4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean that's the
B7
temperature here right
says
now.
Saskatchewan.
Ah. Well, hello there.
I'm outside.
You do have a
I
picture.
decided to come outside.
Yeah. Okay.
I do. It's because as soon as I turn on the video and it's cold outside, I know my battery's just not start
Oh
dropping so
yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm using Wi-Fi, Bluetooth now, right? Because I do a
True.
lot of streaming. That's why, right? Because if I
Yeah.
was just shooting video, it wouldn't matter so much.
Yeah.
But
Thanks for
I'm
the
using.
correction, Warren.
Oh, whatever. Oh, whatever. There.
The problem with
Whatever
car
there.
batteries is the box they put the battery in the cars. They are not isolated.
Right.
I,
They're
I have
basically
been thinking. I have been
sitting right
thinking.
down on the metal of the frame.
Why don't they isolate the battery so it keeps
What
the
from the cold?
battery warm? Yeah, protect the battery from the cold.
Well,
But
So why don't they
but
isolate it?
they
if you
kind
think
of
about
do.
it,
They've got a plastic housing that it goes in, or box that it goes in, but
yeah.
it's
But
thin.
you got to think about but think about it during the summertime. Then you want the heat to escape.
Right.
So it's that trade-off, right? Do you want a warm battery in the winter or a really hot battery in the summer, right?
Yeah.
Because heat affects batteries too, right? So
Right. Yep.
Rebel Canners, good to see you.
hi.
Hey, hello, Rebel.
How are you, Rebel? I hope everything is okay with you.
You know, I was just murmuring coming out here. You know what's getting more popular now? I've noticed those solar floodlights. They
Oh
seem to be
yeah.
more popular. They're getting way popular now, right? They're really popular now.
Yeah, they've been
More,
around. I don't know, probably 10 years, but they're getting way more popular now because
yeah,
people are
because
more conscious of the costs of the electricity to run those things.
well, it's not only that sheds, outhouses. Well, okay, not an outhouse, but sheds and stuff like that. Did I say shed? The outhouse? No. Well, like I said, even
Well,
5
there are
years
still some
ago.
of them around, you know.
No, in 2017 or whatever, right? I was out on the lake with a couple of people, right? We had solar lights. That's why we had
Yeah.
a solar floodlight. It was
Yeah.
a solar floodlight that we used, right? So we had lights on the inside, wood stove, and we were good.
Yep.
We were pretty good, all right.
Yeah, and you melted the ice and fell through, right?
No.
Yeah.
Actually, it was probably as warm as it is now here for me. I had a moat outside the building, outside our shack. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
You know, I was like literally, I didn't even have to bring hand warmers or anything like that because we had access to fire and water. So
Yeah.
it was just easier just to heat a water, put it into like a, let's say a pop bottle or whatever that someone brought anyways, right?
Right.
And I could just, right, because I used it every so often to warm up my feet. because my
Yeah.
feet would actually get the coldest. Because, like I said,
Yeah.
there was a moat of water outside, so it was very slushy outside. So, like,
Yeah.
and like,
Oh,
you
so
know,
you'd be
I
wet
wore
all the time.
well, I wore rubber boots over winter boots, so they were more waterproof, but not
Yeah.
as warm. So, yeah, but yeah, that was fun.
Yep. Well, back when I was a kid, I'm from North Idaho, and my hometown was right on Ponderay Lake.
Mm.
Back in the day, they used to drive across that lake in the winter.
Oh wow,
Yeah, it's about 12 miles wide right there.
I see.
So
Yeah, the ice were
the
pretty
ice got
thick
pretty
too.
deep. Yep, the ice got pretty thick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what is it? As long as it's like what 6, 8 inches, it's good enough for a vehicle or something like that. Well,
I
obviously, the
wouldn't
thicker
try
it
it.
is.
I
Well,
wouldn't
no,
try it,
I
but
think
I mean,
or
it
no, no,
might be
12
true.
inches.
I don't know.
I think it's got to be at least a foot. There's a certain range where it's got to be thick enough for like, a vehicle. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, for people, that's one thing. A vehicle is different.
Oh,
A
yeah.
very heavy vehicle, with it, and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
But if it's really cold, really, really cold, minus 20, minus 30, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it must be the top of the hour. I know that sound too. I know that sound too.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with some of these sounds and things I see. Because I've seen them around.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Top of the hour. Wait. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm familiar with that.
What's that?
Truckers. I don't think I've seen it. I know I've heard about it. Somehow
Seer,
I seem to be watching Highway Through Hell. Yeah.
I checked up how thick the ice need to be to drive a car or a small pickup. Um, for walking, ice fishing, ice skating, or other activities on foot are permitted to 5 to 7 inches.
Yeah.
The
I'd have guessed around.
snowmobiling or riding ATVs are safe at 8 to 12 inches. Driving a car or small pickup is allowed 12 to 15 inches.
I figured it had to be at least a foot, but I couldn't. But I did not know, so I didn't
Yeah.
say anything.
Yeah. That's why I corrected myself later. I'm like, wait, no, it's got to be a foot. What am I thinking? 6 inches? No. Just wait. That's not enough.
Yeah, I have watched that show, Kaylin.
No, I was going to say,
Oh,
no,
I
I've
saw
been watching
truckers.
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't watched.
I've been
it,
watching.
but, I mean, I saw bits and pieces of it, but I never watched the whole episode.
that is really nasty conditions they drive on.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
Oh. You guys should go watch like Highway Through. First,
What? Which
go watch that show.
highway? What?
It's called Highway Through. It's the tow truckers. Highway Through Hell.
Oh.
It's the tow truckers. Tow trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they actually have to like pull a vehicle that's off the side of the road or flipped or yeah. I've seen a couple episodes of those. Yeah. So if you ever got a tow truck comes along, yeah, I appreciate what they do because they do quite a bit for us.
Oh yeah, and if
That-
the
Right?
driver's good,
Maybe
if the driver's good, he can do some amazing things.
Yeah.
no. I'm just talking about like the way that they let's say if you're off to the side or can't get out or what I mean, they'll help you out, right? And
Oh
the
yeah,
way
yeah,
the
yeah,
way that they
definitely.
do it,
But if
and stuff like
I mean,
that. So yeah,
I've seen him turn a tipped over car over without putting any marks on it.
yeah, because they have
You
precision.
know.
They know how to run their stuff to tool
Yeah,
and
that's what
stuff
I
like
mean. A good one, a good one can do some amazing stuff.
Hey, Shadow, I know the next topic we should do, or a topic,
Okay, what?
things that are really cool in the winter, or things that happen in the winter. Something along the lines of that. Well, people are thinking about that, right? I'm not talking about just like, skiing and all that stuff, outdoor activities like that, right? But,
Yeah,
people
Yeah.
using tow trucks and stuff like that too, right?
yeah.
Because it's probably more common that people will use a tow truck in the winter. I would assume. I would assume you would get stuck outside more in the winter than in the summer.
You would think so.
I would think
Hmm?
so because, ice and stuff like that, or
Right.
hitting the snowbank or something like that. So, and
Well,
also,
yeah.
yeah,
But some of them are very talented at getting in
well,
trouble.
some of them make magic, right? It's like, you know, but yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, Shadow, maybe a stream like that or something like that,
Yeah,
dedicated just for winter, since.
that might be cool. I'm sure we could find some good stuff.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to talk about, right? There's a lot to talk about right there. Although that'd probably be like a 6 hour stream right there, I think. Not just a few hours.
Yeah.
I think I could talk about like the code for like hours, to
Indeed.
be honest. Oh yeah.
There's
See,
that
see,
word again.
code indeed.
You must watch. You must have watched a lot of Trek: The Next Generation,
Indeed.
or Picard.
Indeed, I have.
Enga- engage.
That was Picard's favorite words, indeed.
Yeah.
know.
His other favorite words was "make it so."
Yep.
Engage.
Oh, yeah,
That was Captain Kirk who said engage.
yeah. That was Kirk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's been a while since I watched TNG. Dang it. Dang it, I haven't watched it for a while. I will rest you. Okay. Sorry. I need to catch up on my the younger generation. So yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite characters in Star Trek was Data.
Yeah, Data was great. I was always a Mr. Spock fan from the original.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I was just thinking that could be another live stream topic. We're going Trekkie, guys. Oh, I mean, to boldly go where no stream has gone before. Cue the Star Trek theme.
Yeah, it's probably somebody's probably done it already, but
Space.
that don't mean we can't do it.
Oh, well, something along the lines of that. Yeah. Well, you got to say something for talk about later.
Yep.
You got to say something to talk about later, Shadow. Especially if you
yeah.
want to do these streams every Saturday now. You think about it, right? I think this is one of those things. Like, I think, in my opinion, you need more topics in advance. That way
Yeah,
you
it's
can
begin-
pick the best one for the time period.
yeah.
Well, if you're going to do them this time every Saturday, I probably can catch you.
Yeah.
I
And
always normally my usually time I go live is 8 p.m. my time,
about
7
5
p.m.
hours ago.
UK.
Yeah.
5 hours ago, everyone. That's usually when he
Yeah,
starts.
Yeah.
He started 2 hours later, but yeah.
yeah. I had to
No,
do it
because
2 hours,
well, because
2 hours later than normal.
well, like I said to you, Shadow, before, privately, right? I mean, like Christmas, New Year's, that's a given, right? Those are probably that's a given. But there are 50 weeks. You need topics. You need something to talk about, and you can't just here's another general topic again. Here's another whatever thing again, and you can't talk about winter in the middle of summer probably. So certain topics have to
No,
come
that
up
would
at
be
certain
odd.
time. I mean, that'd be great for people in the southern hemisphere, but most people live in the northern hemisphere. Most of the population. I mean, maybe Guardian Private might enjoy it. Even, oh, I'm glad you're doing this topic. Thanks. But yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
March, April, spring topic or whatever, right? Stuff like that. But well, I'm just saying, right?
Right
Because
now it's
usually,
after 6 p.m. US Central, and here it is 1:11 a.m.
Yes. Yeah, Caitlin,
I
that's
mean,
my time.
I mean, like Shadow, you can extend this topic to next week and be like, hey, we're gonna talk about the power outage area a little bit more, or some. No, I'm just something like that, right? That way, because a lot of these topics that you talk about cross over at times, right? So, and of course, now we're being more open about what we're talking about, right? We're
Yeah.
kind of going
But
away from the energy topic a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
Kaylin has a point
A very good
actually.
point.
Is,
Yes.
you can talk about prepping for winter in the summer, buying winter gear on
No,
off
I know, I
season when
understand
it's
that.
less expensive.
No, I can understand that, but it's hard to relate about like uh thinking about how to keep your place warm when it's like 30, 90 plus degrees outside though. It's kind of different, you know. I'm not saying you can't, Galen, but
Yeah,
or maybe
yeah,
talking about summer in like say early, late spring or early spring, right, or something like that. Or
the
talking about
hottest
your
summer I have ever felt we had here was 36 degrees. So that was pretty hot. Too hot for me.
You wouldn't do
that
very
is
well. You
about
wouldn't do very well in Arizona.
that's about not even
No, I wouldn't do much actually.
yeah
You
Yeah.
have
35
to put
Celsius.
me in a free, well,
Fridge.
yeah, in a fridge and
Yeah.
let me
Close
stay
the door
there
and lock
for
it.
and walk
Yeah.
and
I
knock on
worked
the.
on a roofing crew out of Phoenix in July and August, and it was above 120 degrees Fahrenheit a lot of the time. It was so hot that anything you set in the sun would burn your hands.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
especially metal. Anything metal,
Any
especially
metal,
anything
yeah.
metal,
yeah,
especially metal.
Yep.
Yeah, or anything that has a dark surface, like that's black, generally, right?
Yeah.
Anything white, piece of paper, no, you wouldn't notice that. Or, but oh, that piece of paper is black now. Oh, you could start feeling it. 'Cause-
Yep. But
Kaylin
speaking,
has stayed pretty good actually. She picking up residual heat from the apartments below and
residual.
beside her. That,
that helps.
Yeah.
yeah, that
Definitely helps.
helps.
Well, that's like picking up residual heat from airplanes too, right? You know, it's just like keep my hands warm in the winter with a coffee cup. I
Oh
think I'm
yeah,
Pete from the mug. Keep my hands warm, right?
yeah. To me, for me, the best heat's a wood stove.
Yeah, but you can't have a wood
60
stove
here in Arkansas,
when you're
6 4
walking, though.
p. 4
No, no, of
10
course
p.m.
not. But I
You
mean, so
know,
like, you know,
stationary camping or
yeah, in the
stuff like
house.
that. Yeah, kind of
You
deal.
know, I grew up with wood heat my whole life, and man, I hated not having it when I got anywhere else when it got cold.
Well, this is why I said about bringing out the portable power or energy options too, because like solar, the awkward stuff that RG has, that's at a home, stationary,
Right, right.
business or whatever. When you're on the road, walking or whatever, you can't bring that along. I can't bring a wood stove along with me on my back and wear it and beat it
No,
or right.
no.
But they have things like hot hands and simple hand warmers and little battery banks you can bring along with you for those times you need to
Yes,
be portable. You know,
exactly.
I'm going out for a picnic,
Uh,
everyone.
coal wood mix is nice. Okay, never heard of that before, but
What is?
coal wood mix.
Oh,
B
yeah.
Savage says that.
Actually, my granddad had a stove that you could do that with,
Hmm.
but he usually just burned coal in the winter.
Hmm.
Yeah, a
Well,
good fireplace is nice to have.
well,
Yeah.
we can talk about this next week if you guys want, Kaylin. Shadow. We can talk about like winter, staying warm in the winter.
Yeah.
There's a talk for
Yeah,
right there,
that's another topic.
right?
Yep.
Well, I'm just thinking, right? Last month,
Well,
right?
I'll count on you, Shadow, to come up with a good topic.
He always has to. He always asking
If
me.
if I could come up with the topic, I'd make more videos myself.
Okay. Well, I just well
I've got a tiny little baby channel, but I've got 3 very short videos on it. I don't think I've got
expand from it.
10 minutes
Expand from that.
total. Huh?
Just expand. Well, I was gonna say just expand from that.
Well, yeah, I know I have to, but I just can't think anything to say.
Oh, trust me, I can't think of stuff to say at times too. I'm just like, man, I'm rambling again. I don't know why. In videos, I have a harder time than during the live streams at times. Because during the
Yeah.
live streams, I can correct myself, but in videos, it's just like, I think I just said something, but I already did this action, and now I got to take back the words and try to edit that out and voice
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
I seem to
Yeah.
be naturally talking like this is a little bit easier. I'm
That
not
is
saying it's hard.
me too.
Yeah, it's not that it's hard or not easy, but
Either
like I
that or
said, sometimes
either that or
uh,
I'm going to have to script whatever I want to say.
yeah, sometimes I have had to script stuff too, even for a live stream because it's more. I want to get the words across, right? I don't want to be rambling or continuously rambling or,
Yeah.
saying repeating myself, but I want to be to the point, use the words.
That's kind of what I
Uh,
feel like I'm doing is rambling.
yeah, no, because I can tell at times during the live streams where people are like, yeah, now we're starting to ramble. Because
Yeah.
in the beginning we had lots to say, right? But I've already said everything. Now what? Now
Yeah.
what? Right now I'm starting to ramble. Where's Guardian? I mean, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
sometimes
good
it's
to script things if you know your memory is not that good. Script things, and
um
Well,
that
no
makes it
yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
cue
My
cards.
problem is I'm not doing anything that I planned, so I don't have to remember it. I just got to know. I just got to figure out what to say and how to say it, and make it a little longer than what I've been doing.
Well, you want to be more concise on what you're saying, right? You don't want to be
Yeah.
like, why am I using these words that have nothing to do with it? Well, and stuff like right? I mean, I'm bad for that too.
I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Oh,
Be
right?
savage.
I think it's because during the live streams or on a panel like this, remember that it's live. So I can't just take back anything. I gotta think
Yeah.
before I speak, right?
I agree,
But
Caitlin.
but in a video, I'm just trying to say everything, and it's like, that just comes out right away, right? I'm just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
how many ums, ings, and all this stuff that I just say.
Yeah, that's
Or
another
I
thing I
stutter
got
the
to get used
words.
to.
Yeah, or I stutter the words a little. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I meant to
Well,
say
see-
peanut butter.
Yeah. See, I never was any good at public speaking. And another vlogger that I know talked me into coming up on the channel. And by doing that, I have gotten way better at being able to sit here and talk.
Well, you know what? There's another topic right there, Shadow. Right? Live streaming panel, blah blah blah. I don't know how you want to word it or whatever. Right? Well, because I know some people. One of my buddies just started a channel. Right? He did
Yeah.
a couple of live streams already. Right? He's getting more comfortable with it too. Also,
Well,
in the beginning, it's whatever. It's
Yeah.
like your first video, right? But I think, without going into too many details, joining a panel like this kind of helps, right? When you have
yeah,
panel
it
members,
helps me a lot.
Yeah,
well, because you get to, it's almost like we're talking face to face, right? It's just a
Yeah.
discussion. It's just like at the bar or at the coffee shop or whatever conversation.
exactly.
Yep.
It is much
Yeah, and
harder to do.
With you guys here on this channel and Lazy Larry Lee on his channel, and even Dan, Philippines Bound,
Mhm.
it's all like that. It's just like we're talking
Talking.
over a cup of coffee or whatever. And
Yeah, it's much harder to do a stream alone. It is much harder.
It
'Cause
is.
you gotta
Yeah.
keep talking. I mean, let's just say it's more informational and you're not showing all that, then eventually you gotta be like, Sierra, you gotta take a breather. You can't just say
Yeah.
everything in the first 10 minutes here. I gotta spread it
Right.
out. Right?
yeah,
Because it's one thing if you're showing something, illustrating something, drawing something, creating something on there, playing a game even for the gamers out there, right? But to do
Yeah.
commentary, it's much
Yeah.
harder because you gotta think what you're saying and still do what you're doing, right?
right.
And stuff like that.
Like I know an artist that is a vlogger, and she does really good work,
Hmm.
and she sings too. And I really enjoy watching her vlogs.
You mean Share Pencil the artist?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yep. Absolutely. I really enjoy her streams.
Did I just hear that? I know I heard that. I know I heard that.
What do you
I know
heard?
I heard it. Nothing. I know what I heard.
Now he's imagining things.
Yeah, probably. I didn't hear anything.
I don't think I did.
Whatever he heard.
I surreally heard something there. I know what I heard.
From where?
Well, I don't know. I'm hearing stuff from. I don't know. Hey, there's someone behind you.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Thank
a
you.
fresh cup of
Oh,
coffee.
It's hot.
What? I can't hear it.
How are you?
Yeah.
They can't hear it. They can't hear it. They probably can
No,
hear it.
it took.
Bye bye. Take care.
Yep, you too. Well, you got a
Your
good
wife?
wife there. She brings you coffee.
No, that was not my wife.
That's
That was
no. Yeah.
That was a
Perfect.
friend.
a friend. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I
Well-
keep forgetting your wife. Yeah, your wife has lighter hair.
I don't remember if I've ever seen your
No,
wife.
it's
then.
okay with jokes, Josh. Don't worry about it.
No,
I can take
no,
it. I can handle
no.
it.
Your wife showed up on that video that you went out camping.
Yeah,
I remember that. I remember that very fondly.
yeah.
For some reason, you let her do all the talking. You're
That was
just like
before my
on the
time.
side. I mean, I'm just saying. Mm, yeah,
I'm still
but yeah,
hearing
I mean,
another audio source. Okay.
but yeah, but yeah. Hold on a sec, sorry.
It's always good with a nice cup of coffee.
Oh, it is. I wish I had one, but I already drank all my coffee today.
Yeah, you can make one after the stream.
Yeah.
I like my coffee really strong.
Yeah, I make mine strong too.
Yeah, if it's too not that strong at all, it
You would probably like what they call cowboy coffee if it's made right.
that must be strong coffee.
Well, it's just as strong as you want to make it, but the thing about it is you make it in a pot without the percolator stuff or the filter,
Yeah.
or you just boil it with the grounds right in the water, and
Ah, yeah. We
then
do
you
it.
pour a little cold water in it. And
Okay.
once it's done, put a little cold water around inside and a little down the spout, and it settles all the grounds out,
Okay.
and it makes it a much more mild as far as takes a lot of the acidy stuff out of it.
Yeah.
So your strong coffee is you can just enjoy it without getting any of that acid.
I just figured out another topic for Saturday. We could talk about coffee. I'm just saying coffee, tea, hot drinks, hot chocolate. We could talk about that all, the whole. That'll be an 8 hour stream right there.
Yeah.
Easy watch time, Chad. I'm just saying. I'm just
Masala tea is
right.
good. Masala tea is good, Kayla.
Yeah.
I've had it many times. My
Uh,
ex-wife used to make it all the time.
yeah. Here in Sweden, we make some of us like to make a coffee. Just boil up water, put the coffee in, and let it boil for a minute, and turn it off, and let
Mm-hmm.
it set for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Eh,
The secret to it is to put that cold water around the inside of the pot and a little bit down the spout, and it'll settle those grounds right out, and they won't come back.
See. Someone agrees with me.
I
Someone
will
agrees with
try
me.
to remember that.
Someone agrees with me. I knew it. I knew someone would agree
Easy
with
eight
me.
hours about coffee. Well, that will be a long stream, my friend.
Yeah, yeah, Rebel, you might be right.
My grandparents drank coffee with chicory, but that
Yeah,
was their Civil War roots. Yeah.
yeah. I've had it, and it's okay now and then, but I wouldn't want to make a regular habit of it. Just personal preference.
Hey, it's cool. Good to see you. And thanks for
I
the
completely.
coffee.
Yeah. Coffee that's virtually caffeine free.
Who wants
Uh,
coffee with no caffeine?
hey, even
Yeah.
decaf has more.
There was I heard a story about a guy who made coffee, and he boiled the water and put the coffee in, and he insisted to make the coffee every morning. And this was the first day, so he insisted to do it.
Okay.
So when the coffee was ready, and the guy who woke up and a good cup of coffee would be good this morning. So he poured out, gave him a cup, and you know what? He couldn't drink that coffee. It was so much acid in that coffee, so he
Yeah,
couldn't barely drink it.
you got to boil it more than a minute.
Yeah,
And
That
then,
is what he did. And
yeah,
that dude who made the coffee, he liked a lot of acid in his coffee. But the other in scout camp, no,
no,
no more
nobody
coffee.
else. Yeah,
Nobody wanted to drink his coffee.
yeah.
It's not good for your stomach with that much acid in the coffee. Ugh.
No, no. That's why you need to do it the way like Cowboy Kent Rollins has a vlog, and he does it, and that's where I learned. I mean, I always knew about throwing the grounds in the water and cooking it, but I never knew all of the subtleties. And it makes it such a bold but smooth coffee. And people who get reflux from it, from coffee, usually
Yeah,
don't from that because it curbs the acid enough.
yeah, I'm gonna try to remember that.
Hey, I'm as close as I am. I can remind you, or
Yeah,
better yet, direct you to Cowboy Kent Rollins and look up his Cowboy Coffee,
okay, will do.
and because he can explain it way better than I can, and show. I mean, he does it, so you see it. And he's an old chuck wagon cook. That's an interesting combination.
Hmm. See, now I want coffee. I could use a pick me up. I think everyone's like, it's like, yeah, I can use a pick me up too.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's just like, why is everyone making coffee?
Actually, my coffee pot's all set up and ready to go, and I would make some, except that then I wouldn't be able to get everything I need to set it up again.
Oh,
I'm somewhat limited in my mobility, so
well, like I said, Shadow,
Yeah,
a coffee stream or a hot chocolate tea, hot drink tea stream, easy,
oh,
8 hours. Come on, Rebel
yeah.
Canners even agrees with me.
yeah.
It would be
Rebel Can
easy.
says 8 hour. That would be an 8 hour stream. No,
Yeah, that'd be easy,
I've been on
easy.
a 6 hour stream. I don't know if I want to be on 8.
Oh, don't worry. I'll cover the rest of the time for you. If you want to take a power nap or something, I'll be like, just come back. I'll keep it going for you. Yeah,
Yep.
but but on a serious note, there's something about having a warm drink, tea, coffee, hot chocolate, right? There's something
Yeah.
about that. So a warm brew, as they say. So
That is true.
yeah. So I mean, I'll leave that for the rest for that stream, but I don't. This is not a
Yep, there
stream
you
about
go.
hot chocolate. this is a stream about energy and power, everyone. But then again, you need electricity or power or something like that to warm up your water and all this stuff, right? So yeah, okay, it's not quite there, but sort of like.
Kalen's got a good one. Caffeinated
yeah.
rabbit hole.
Never heard of that one before.
No, but she's
I could
talking about
emphasize.
CR, so
Yeah.
Yeah, emphasize the CR in it too, right? I'm like, oh yeah, I see what you mean, Kaylin.
Yeah,
I
Kevin.
see. Right? I mean, but yeah, seriously, you could go a long time with that.
oh yeah, black coffee's the only way to go.
But I mean, I bet you could get everyone joining the panel then. It's like, oh my gosh, there's people that never join my panel. Oh, it's about coffee. I want to join. I'm just saying. A lot of people do hot chocolate, teas, coffee, stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
Hot cider,
that's
stuff
true.
like that. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be coffee, but
That is it. That is some interesting options for a stream.
I'm just saying. See, this is why you asked
Cable
me.
Kenners has an idea here. Campfire coffee with an eggshell in the water is the best coffee. No electric necessary. I also love my French press coffee. I
Yeah,
never
the
heard
egg.
have an eggshell in the water when you
Yeah,
make
I've heard of that.
coffee.
I've heard of that. But the little bit of cold water put in um, does the same thing the eggshell would do, without leaving chunks of eggshell in there for you to drink. It's not a bad idea, but either a red box or a big red can. You drink Folgers?
She talks about Inca coffee.
Ah, yeah, I've never
It's
seen
a
that one.
it's either a red box or a big red can. I think we share. I have a can of Inca in the kitchen.
Oh, don't worry about it. I wouldn't be able to get it here anyway, probably.
See, we already talked about coffee for the last half hour, so 8 hours should be easy. I'm just, I'm just saying, you guys all had something to say already. See,
I had a Wally World delivery today. It
come on,
wasn't mine, so they let me keep it all about 160 total.
Shadow,
Wow.
Shadow. If you do
Yeah,
that topic, I swear everyone will come in. It's like, oh look, there's Alpine Preparedness, there's Forehaven, there's Sassy Gal, there's Leonard, there's Uncloud, there's Bob,
Oh, okay.
guys,
there's Garden Prepping. Everyone just comes in.
geez,
It's like, I love coffee.
here it
There
is.
you go.
Oh,
Oh, I see.
this is Inca coffee.
All right. Well, if I find some, I'll try it.
Kaylin find it on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said
I'll
that.
check it out. I'll check it out.
I'm still having coffee after the stream. All right. I mean, you can talk about thermoses, right? Thermoses, coffee mugs, coffee warmers. See, there's a lot of things you can go from coffee, right?
Oh, yes. It's a very wide subject to talk about.
Yeah. The morale boosting effects of having a warm drink. Let's say, you've been cold on ice fishing or something like that, been cold in a vehicle, warm drink would pick up your morale. So you get related into the preparedness part too, to a certain degree. Right.
Kaylin says I'm gonna put it in one of my Amazon lists.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that.
Kaylin, you said you were on Central Time, U.S. Whereabouts are
Yeah.
you?
She's in Iowa.
Iowa.
Des Moines.
Des Moines. Oh, okay. All right.
See, I pay attention to people. Finally.
Hard to believe, but anyway.
Okay. But yeah.
Hey, CR, I couldn't resist.
No, I know. I know the feeling. It's sometimes it's really hard to resist.
Yep. All
Yeah.
right. Cool, Kaylin. Well, I'm in Houston, Texas, so
Yeah, that's the strange thing with the U.S. It's the time zones, and some is on the Eastern time, and some on Central time, and
yeah.
and
they're across the
Pacific
street.
time.
And they're across the street from each other.
Yeah.
And then you got Mountain Time too. And then
Okay.
you got a couple of states like Arizona that are in Pacific Time half the year and Mountain Time the other half the year because they don't change their clocks. But supposedly starting this year, when we go back to daylight savings time, we won't change again. The whole
Well,
US.
okay, so when daylight savings time comes around in the spring, we could all talk about that. That'll be another topic. I mean, it'll be short, maybe an hour or two.
Especially if they go ahead and go with the um, if they do go ahead and push that law through. I think it's been done, but I am not 100% sure. But I sure hope so. I mean, here in Texas, it doesn't much matter. You can't hardly tell if it's daylight savings or standard time. Now, back home where I come from, on standard time, it'd be
Yeah.
dark at 4 o'clock. Not, it's not as bad, not as much of a extreme as what you have, Shadow, but it's far enough north that we get some of the effect of
Oh yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
chill
yeah,
of the
yeah,
earth. Yeah.
yeah.
And then in the summer, it's still light at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer, no one cares. No one cares. It's bright when I get up. It's bright when I go to bed.
Yeah. But in the summer, it's dark going and coming whenever you leave to go to work or when you come home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Especially when that used to do graveyard shifts or anything like that. Yeah.
No, that was even
It's-
working day shift
Oh, okay.
because it stayed dark so late, on standard time.
It's almost like a unwritten form of jet lag. Well, because you're like tired when it's like daylight.
Yeah.
Wide awake at. So yeah. Well, Shadow, you might as well go to the top of the hour now. We're already still talking about coffee and all this stuff anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll try to relate it into the energy, the power thing. That way, it's relatable. We are trying to stay on topic.
Yeah.
We're diverging. We're going towards another thing.
Well,
But yeah.
that's why I would always put my stream titles as chill and chat, and then there's topic on, because you can handle a topic for maybe 2.5 hours, and
Well,
maybe
yeah,
three.
it depends on your panel, If
Yeah,
you got
yeah,
people who are
I mean,
who are talking about and sharing things on that same subject,
yeah,
you can go quite a while.
yeah.
That's how Larry Lee went through 6 hours that night.
see. This just proves that you could do an 8-hour stream of coffee. I swore I should post it on like an e-board and be like, has anyone ever done an 8-hour stream just talking about coffee and things related to it? I just want to see what people would say. All right, come on. I think people could do. Yeah,
I
you could
think
talk about
we could have a good. I think we could have a good stream on coffee. But
Yeah.
well, and things like that. Okay, coffee, hot chocolate.
Yeah.
But in that
but-
case, I
I'm
need to create a
gonna have to
stream.
take this call, so
all right,
Okay, no problem.
I'll drop off. Talk to you next time.
Yeah.
all right.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Take care. You're
Mhm.
very welcome.
But yeah, you were saying?
Well, in that case, we need a topic well only coffee.
Oh, it's easy. Just say coffee chat. Like literally, it's coffee chat. We're not talking over having coffee. We're actually talking about coffee.
Yeah, I like to
Caffeine.
have a. Yeah, I like to have chill and shit and a topic on that. So begin with a topic and then go over to chill and chat. It's nice.
And come back to it or whatever, right? It's just like me when I have my live with CR sessions. They tend to be more
Yeah.
open. If I have a topic, they will be in the description. Or I will say it. So people know. I will try to stick to this topic, but stuff like that. I almost forgot it was Saturday today. I was gonna go on live. I'm like, oh wait a second. Never mind. I forgot. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry. I forgot the day of the week. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Saturday. Damn it.
Yeah.
No, because
And
yesterday
now
I
it's
was like,
Sunday.
well, you know what I mean. But I was about to
Yeah.
schedule something. I went, oh yeah, because I started to write the description, all this stuff. I went, Oh, yeah. Cancel. Forget what I said. But yeah. So yeah. Hey, did I tell you? Oh, I guess I bartered a battery bank from someone
Okay.
in exchange for a few things. Nothing major, but it was like, I'll take this deal.
So what did you
10,000.
get?
Well, I have a 10,000 milliamp battery bank now.
Okay.
So
That's good.
yeah, right. So a way of bartering it.
Does that power bank has a solar panel on it?
No, this is just a typical battery bank.
Oh,
It
okay.
doesn't even have an LED light. It's not one of those either. Because I know there is certain battery banks you can actually there's a built-in LED light or whatever, right? Those
Yeah.
are like, it's depending how much you want or not want that, right? So and stuff like that. Well,
Yeah.
I guess I can relate into it because we are
This
talking
is
about
my power bank. So
yeah. I mean, we are talking about electricity, power, and stuff like that. I guess it is. Yeah, I guess it relates in, right? You're talking about it.
yeah.
I know many of you have this kind of stuff. I'm aware of that. Kaylin, Tammy here, some other people here. I know I got one. Huh? You too, Shadow. So
Yeah.
they're nice to have. They're nice to have, right? They give you a little bit more work to work with. Well, it's kind of like I said. Hey, I gotta leave in 5 minutes, and my phone's only at 50%. And you're walking, and you gotta go now. Well, at least now you get portable power, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Maybe you charged it up with your solar panels at home or whatever, right? But now you can bring that solar power with you on the road, so to speak, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So this is why I'm a big proponent of having them because they can help you in preparedness too, right? And like obviously, I'm not saying power is really necessary, but there are some things that are easier, right? I mean, CPAP machine, trying to make an emergency call and stuff like that. It's a little bit easier when you have power. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It makes everything easier. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the channels out there, survival living and all this, they'll say, yeah, do you need power to survive? No. But some people do actually need it for medical equipment. I mean, like, it's easier. I think it's easier if you can if the grid's up and you can make a call on your phone instead of trying to put up smoke signals or all right? Probably, but you need power for that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. There's that kind of old school way, but then again, if you have modern.
Kaylin had one in her purse, and another one in her get home bag. And
Oh, that's cool, Kalen. Yeah, I mean, like
yeah.
stuff like that. I mean, like now I'm trying to I'm working on. I got like 3 or 4 now. All right, I just
Yeah.
rotate them, right? Keep rotating them. Like I use one, then the next one, and go so forth. That way, I keep them. So that way, I'm not totally just using one the whole time. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. That makes
Well,
sense.
because you can only recharge these batteries so many times. There's only so many recharge cycles. So I'm trying to let's say you got 4, I cycle for all 4. Unless I specifically need more power or specifically only need this size or specifically can only, weight restrictions or something like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. Um,
so that's why, having a little bit I mean, and just I mean like I know Kaylin, you probably said this before in your streams and stuff like that, you can run like a fan off of it, right? A little fan, a little fan off of it or something along the lines of that. I know there's mug warmers, coffee warmers too, stuff like that, right? So there could be some benefits to it and stuff like that.
Yeah, it can.
It's not just always for your phone. Most people really do consider like these battery banks for your phone. Yeah, their primary use is for phones. Most people you see use them with their phones, right? But there is other things like a mug warmer, a fan, flashlights. Some of these flashlights now are rechargeable, right? So if you had somebody with that and a battery bank, right? You're camping out or whatever. Let's say the grid's down, power outage, right? Now you can
Yeah,
recharge that flashlight a little bit more, right? So it's not just, oh, hey, I got 8 hours off, let's say 8 hours off the battery. Now I got 40, 50 hours. Because now I got the battery
yeah,
bank to support that, right? And stuff like that. Having these battery banks also means if they're full, you don't actually have to turn on, quote unquote, use your solar generator for those items, right? Because you actually have a dedicated battery for it. You know what I mean? So all that power that you use for, let's say, your generator, your solar generator, or
yeah,
whatever, it could be go right to like, let's say, the fridge, right? All to the fridge, right? You don't even need to charge your phone for that because you got the
yeah,
battery banks, right? You don't have to do that yet. If that makes any sense.
yeah. That makes sense. Kaylin says my mom controls her hearing aids with her phone, so having a power bank would be good for her. I will get her one in the near future before our next family trip. Yeah, that sounds
That's
like
good.
a good idea.
That's a good idea, Kaylin. That's a
Yeah,
good idea.
it is.
And I think it's one of those things like until they start using it, they'd be like they don't realize how handy it is because, like I said, the convenience is like, oh, I'm down to like 10%. I have to go out in 5 minutes. Now you got portable power. Top off your phone. Obviously, you're gonna maintain that battery bank and all this other stuff. But
Yeah, I agree.
like a battery. Let's say, now I don't keep battery banks personally in my Lightel kit because I tend to use them often enough, right? But let's just say you had four that you usually use, and you have a fifth one. Maybe the fifth one you can put in there. You just top it off, make sure it's fully charged. So it's ready to go, or in a glove compartment or something like that in a vehicle. Like I know you don't have quote unquote power from your vehicle, right? But thinking about like what things that happened over the winter, right? Some people were on the road, stuck on the side, right? And they're trying to ration their fuel, the gas, right? Let's just say it, right?
Yeah,
For heat, right? Well, you can't. Some vehicles won't charge a phone unless the vehicle's actually on, right? Which means you aren't charging your phone unless you actually turn it on, but you're low on gas and trying to conserve the heat or the gas for the heat, right? So, but having a battery bank means that I don't have to quite do that, right? Just keep the battery bank on the inside to keep it warm, right?
yeah,
Stuff like that, right? Fight people. It's like, yeah, Shadow. I'm good still. I'm on the side. My battery bank's still at 75%. I got a half tank. You know, I should be good until morning until you pick me up or whatever, right? Something like that, right?
yeah,
Because like I said, you got options. When you have options, there's still hope. In my opinion, anyway.
yeah.
Well, because when
Kaylin
you don't have,
says I let my
no,
mom use my power banks. I usually take at least two on our family trips. That that is a good idea to do.
yeah, when I go camping, it's like one of the things, right? I don't usually use it that much, but there's times where it comes in clutch, right? Where it's just like, something happens or whatever, and it's like, well, I'm glad I brought that out. Yeah, I mean, like, just stuff like that, right? It just comes in handy, right? It's just like, and you realize it's just like, this is part of the preparedness, right? It's just like, turn this inconvenience into just a minor inconvenience, right?
Yeah.
Where because I've noticed that time and time again, it's just like I kind of glad I brought this, right? I kind of I'm talking about battery bank in this case, but because that happened to me last summer. Actually, the battery bank, even though okay, my bad for only bringing like a battery bank that was half full, but it still came in clutch for what it was, what it was for, right? I'm just like, yeah, because I actually didn't, need it, right? Would be better if I was all the way full, but I was only going for like a few days, right? So I kind of and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
there was vehicles too, so I wasn't as worried about the power. I just wanted something portable just in case. And I actually had to drain the battery on that anyway, so I figured I might as well, right? So because really it was only for phones. I wasn't actually writing anything else really off of it. It was just that top up a phone or something like that. You know what I mean? From 50
Yeah.
back to 80% kind of deal from talking throughout the day or whatever. Doing videos, right? If you think about it, as content creators, right? Many of us are content creators. Many of us, like not all of us, are content creators, right? A lot of people use a phone to record now. Not everyone uses an actual dedicated camera, right?
Mm.
Although those would have their own batteries and stuff, anyways. But it would be nice to be able to keep recording, or those time lapses, right?
Yeah.
For anyone those time lapses take a lot of time, and you actually have your phone has to be on. You can't dim you can dim your display, but you can't turn off your display. So which means that your battery has to be charged because it's going to start go down because you're recording and the display's on, right? So because I know that from the time lapses I've done, I'm like, yeah, you have to plug in your phone to do stuff like
Yeah.
that. You can't just run it without it because your battery's just not dying anyways. Because it's always on. Stuff like that.
Yeah. See, I think we wrap things up now. So, um, yeah, I think we wrap things up now. We are at least
Sorry, I keep
3:57.
forget. I keep forgetting every in the afternoon here or even later in the evening. I get more excited, and then
Yeah.
you get more tired as it goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I forget about that. It's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, Sierra's really excited, but I'm really tired.
Yeah. But I think it's a good idea to wrap things up now. So, um,
Hey, it'd be hilariously funny. You just slip out, and I just continue the stream for you, and I just end it when I'm done. Good.
yeah.
No, I'm not saying. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen anyone do that for someone. I'll just continue the stream for you for 2 hours and then end it. Okay.
Have a great. Thank you, Be Savage, and I hope you have a great day. So, we'll wrap things up now. And
Take
I'll
care,
see
be
you
savage.
guys.
Kaylin.
I see you guys in the next one. Take care, stay safe, and
Take
thanks for
care.
yeah. And thanks for hanging on, guys. I appreciate it, and thanks for the thumbs up. Yeah, Kaylin, and we catch you on the flip side. Um, so, take care, stay safe, and have a great day. And God bless. And we are probably